Welcome back to another fantastic day of Street Fighter League play out here at Street Fighter League Japan 2023. We're only two, and that means 2 episodes away from closing out Section 1, or at least the second half of this season. And that means we're about to send 3 teams to the chopping block. My name is Cola. I'm joined with Vicious. And for some of these teams, they can't lose a single game. They need as many points as possible. For some other teams, the points are pivotal in terms of positioning. But more importantly, for Team DetonatioN, for Nagoya Oja Body Star, they need as many as possible. Cannot falter, they cannot fail, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Vicious, what can the people expect from today's matches?
It's going to be do or die time. You talked about the chopping block, man. Some of these teams have been grinding it out since the last time they were performing. Even some of the teams that weren't even actually playing Tuesday evening over in Japan, Tuesday morning for some of us in the West, for the Western audience. But the fact still remains, some of these teams cannot afford to drop a single game, and that's what makes the action that much more intense. I told you this last time. The drama does continue because we're only going to be accepting the top 6 teams onto the second stage. And when it comes to the second stage, right, we have those 6 teams coming up real soon. During that second stage, that's when we apply the home and away side, the traditional rules that we had from last season, to see what the top 4 teams are going to be that move on to the playoffs. The number 1 seed that makes it into the playoffs automatically get put into the grand finals. And of course, they want to see who becomes the Street Fighter League Japan champion to also face off against the other champions of Street Fighter League throughout the entirety of Capcom Cup. So with that in mind, again, there is so much on the line for a lot of these players. It's not even just the pride, it's not even just for the championship, but also a good amount of change as well.
That's right, 8 million yen in total for the prize pool. That's 5 million, 2 million, and 1 million respectively for first, second, and third. You can do your translation over on Google and figure that out, chat. But otherwise, that's a lot of guap on the dot, and that's enough to buy a lot of these clear products right here. That's probably quite a bit, maybe stacks upon stacks, enough to even for at least maybe one or 2 goes for my fro, you know? So definitely a lot to play for.
It's just one or 2 per bottle, by the way. That's just 1 or 2 tries per bottle. Duly noted, duly noted. We need a formula strong enough for Saint Cola.
It's got to be very powerful. There's a lot of fro with it. But speaking of the glow that needs to happen for these teams, we mentioned how important it is for these teams to gain as many points as possible. Even if they're in the top spot, you want the positional advantage. But for our first match, Hiroshima Team Itsuka going up against Nagoya Oja Body Star. I'm sorry, Team DetonatioN FocusMe. That is going to be nasty. After that's going to be Nagoya Oja Body Star, Shinobism Gaming. And then GyoGun versus Saishunkan Kumamoto, the 2 top teams ending it out tonight. These are going to be some fantastic fights. First one on the deck is going to determine who's going to be moving on, or at least partially, because for Hiroshima Team Itsuka, they need at least 30 points, if my math is correct, and Good 8 Squad to score nothing for them to get in. DetonatioN needs a 40-baller and a 40-baller with Good 8 Squad making nothing at all for them to get in as well. So not only are you hoping for your team to gain as many points as possible, you're also hoping for the demise of the other teams, which is kind of wild, but that's the way it plays.
Yeah, I think looking into it with the way DetonatioN is currently sitting, sure, they're at the bottom in 9th place. They have 70 points. They have 2 games left to play, including today, right? So their potential is, their obvious potential, right, in terms of like best case scenario, they get an extra, what, 80 points, shooting them up to 150 with the results of other teams not doing so well. That's a really hard ask, I think, at this point. Hiroshima Team Ikusa kind of on the back foot too. Like, I think you know, them sitting at 100 points, it's still kind of scary because this is their last game. This is their last game for the season. Let's take a look at what that means for this team going into it. First, Hiroshima Team Ikusa, let's get those intros going. It's the Magic Man, the Magician, Aqua, coming in with the strongest JP for the Japanese region. At least one of them, I should say. Then the Fighting Spirit, that is Jazzy, coming in with a powerful loop. The massive pad grappler, Kichipamu, coming in with a couple of different looks as well. And of course, it's the one, the only, it's the Storm Kubo with the E Honda. Now, again, this team specifically, needs to score above 125 points. They have to score over 125 points. Even if they do, if they tie it up, they'll be tied with Good 8 Squad. But we'll talk about that stipulation later. Who's the other team?
DetonatioN FocusMe exploding onto the scene, starting off with an attack on heavy tank. That is Fudo, always getting fed and always getting bread with that DJ play. Right after is going to be the trickster himself, John Takeuchi, on that sick Rashid gameplay. Hoping to see some of that sick mix with it today. After that is going to be the Shippu Jirurai himself with that Ken Nauman, Evo Japan champion. We're going to put his mark out here, Shinobism League. And of course, it's the ever-present meal ticket himself, Itabashi, Zangief, causing grief with that grappler. They need as many points as possible. We told y'all this, that this was going to be a very difficult season, and this is one of the reasons why. This team needs 40 baller, and to hope for the demise of other teams, as we mentioned previously, that means they can't lose a single game going through. The weight of every game is going to be even more massive for each of these rounds, for the first of two, first of two, first of three. It's all going to feel like a grand finals, an Evo grand finals, or what have you, as we go on. Man, that's difficult.
Yeah, it's wild to say this. Like, DetonatioN FocusMe, despite being in the bottom spot, they actually have the better potential to make it into the top 6 than Hiroshima Team Ikusa currently, because the maximum amount of points that Hiroshima Team Ikusa could get is 140, if I'm not mistaken. DetonatioN can actually get 150. So, with that in mind, I think there's going to be so much more on the line, I think, for DetonatioN FocusMe, where they can't afford to mess up. And this could go either way, too. DetonatioN FocusMe can also be in a position to take Hiroshima Team Ikusa down with them, in a sense, right? If it becomes a 20 to 25 point ball game, that destroys the hopes and dreams of both teams, straight up.
Man, imagine just playing spoiler like, hey, I'm going down, but you're going down with me, taking them down with the ship. And starting it off is going to be Aqua versus John Takeuchi. This is the last match in stage 1, says John Takeuchi. I don't know if that's fully the case, because they still have one more game to play. But, oh no, I'm sorry, that was Aqua, my bad. It's only Aqua, and it says, we need a miracle to get into stage 2. He said, we're going to make one. He is the magic man. All right, so I think that is definitely with his capability. And looking at this matchup, I've been talking to Big Bird and other Rashid players. You know, people outside of the Rashid covenant think that this matchup is like good for Rashid. And the Rashid players say it's not. It's absolutely not. Teleport jump in is not denied by any of the buttons and things like that. You know, Eagle Spike to the fireballs doesn't happen consistently enough. They think that the neutral is really bad. Like, overall, Rashid, not the best pick against JP, but since this is a blind pick, you just go with what you have, and we're hoping here, I guess if you're John Takeuchi, that you can put the mix on that he doesn't know the matchup enough, because when it comes down to it, the amount of Rashid players that are out there are John Takeuchi and Gachikun, and maybe a few others sporadic, but not that many people committing to this character.
Is that true? I'm actually kind of curious about Rashid versus JP. I thought there was a way to kind of at least stop the departure teleport consistently enough. Gachikun actually worked on that issue on his stream and found that exact answer in section 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the last time they played, I think Gachikun, he did it against KB. Overall, he lost. So I can kind of see, like, where the idea or the theory that, you know, JP takes down Rashid, but I think there's like a better fighting chance that he has in comparison to like other characters. Like I gotta ask Big Bird and kind of like pick his brain about it as well. But for the most part, yeah, I think Rashid overall is going to be having a hard time against JP. I think it's a lot more than just like the teleport. I think overall he's not able to, like, Rashid is not able to set up the way he would want to with like the fireball game, and how much he gets just revolving around that to kind of close the gap, right? I think just off the bat, any character with a fireball is always going to be at a somewhat of a standstill or at a deficit against JP because of his arsenal, right? You have the Phantoms that can go toe-to-toe with the fireball. You could have the spikes that could kind of beat out the pacing that some of these players want to utilize when it comes to the fireball game. Even up close, right? He could scrap. So that's it makes sense that Rashid would have like the losing matchup against JP, but against Departure, I think he does a pretty decent time of like stopping the teleports with his own spinning mixer. You could do like spinning mixer option select, if I'm not mistaken, to kind of have it to where you would still end up in a block or like kind of delay the input. But I'd have to do that again in training mode to test it out. But either way, looking at this matchup, John Takeuchi is going to be in for a problem and a half, I feel like. KB's really found himself like a... Sorry, not KB. Aqua's found himself in a really good positioning these last couple of games. I think he's starting to really find confidence in his own playstyle.
Yeah, after I think beating Nemo, beating the top tier JP out there, like the one that you've been learning from, your mentor, as it were, it's got to feel really good. And he has definitely been on a pretty decent climb out here for his team. In terms of wins, he is right now 3 out of 6, so he's 50-50 right now. Last time we did see him, he did lose, the mirror match. But I still think after winning against Nemo, that's got to embolden it. And previously had won against Hachikawa, who was on a winning streak. Stopping that has got to be like, hey man, I definitely deserve to be here. I definitely deserve to be put in the work. And I think that, even this matchup, just overall, like the neutrals got to feel not that good, like buttons wise. You don't really have the same sort of like reach that you would have, if you're, DJ or Luke or whatever that can kind of combat against crouching medium kick. I'm sorry, crouching medium punch. And sometimes maybe crouching medium kick. You have stand fierce that can kind of reach, but you have to be close enough. Maybe stand medium kick in some ranges, but that's kind of a weird, awkward button. And I got to think that, Aqua, maybe not as labbed out against Rashid because there aren't that many Rashids to fight. Again, this has got to be something that's, hey man, like I can run my game plan and it'll probably work out as we've seen with JP continuously. On the reverse though, I could be wrong, and John Takeuchi could have some sick mix. He could have something that Aqua has not seen. Every time I see Rashid players, they're always adding to their arsenal. It feels like they're always adding. Even Big Bird, I watch him, and he's adding more mix-up in the corner and things like that. His conversions are getting better. So it may be a switch-up where, hey, today is the day where Rashid does have some things against JP, and they're going to need to do that, right? Because both, John Takeuchi says, both teams are very nervous about these games. No losses are allowed. And putting this all on the backs of a person that just picked up a new character, or at least a character that's only recently been released, is a tall order. But John Takeuchi's been grinding. You watch his stream, he is putting in hours upon hours with this character. I don't think I've really seen the Jamie. I don't think the Jamie would be a better pick in this matchup. So it's ride or die with the Rashid. Let's see what happens.
On a side note, there's a lot of tech that's been kind of coming out for both of those characters, Rashid and Jamie. It's been kind of wild as we prep ourselves for this match. Aqua versus John Takeuchi, JP versus Rashid, as we are assuming. Yeah, I think it's been a very interesting timeline thus far, seeing some of the tech that's been developing for Rashid. Also, the amount of damage that he can kind of output is pretty out there. Like, I didn't know it would reach like the 6Ks in terms of like getting critical arts going after certain setups, being able to get some of these continuations off of like certain special moves. Like, I've seen it, but now I'm seeing it a lot more in terms of like ranked and like highlights and whatnot. So we're starting to see some of these players really get themselves acclimated to the character, and it's really encouraging to see how fast some of these players are starting to develop DLC characters and not just dismissing them immediately. Or, they'll have their initial like day one, week one judgments of the character, but they still stick to it, right? So I'm starting to really see the appreciation of like some of the players going through with the DLC characters, right?
I definitely want to agree about that, like especially in like the corner position where I feel like he has so many sequences that lead to so much damage, even beyond just level 3. Level 2 is a really good super that sets up for so much. Let's see if level 2 even comes into play. Let's see who's going to take it. Remember, no losses are pretty much allowed for both teams, considering what is on the line, how many points they do not have. We'll see who stays fine. Aqua versus John Takeuchi. Let's get it. Already finding a jump in on the fireball. Fantastic call out here from Aqua. And puts it right back in the corner. Departure's out.
Oh, the anti-air is there with the crouching heavy punch, but still the bait afterwards for the mix. That was actually so dangerous. Departure, set up again. Oh, it's a forward throw and just enough damage. Yo, Aqua, he's sending out the mix numerous times over. It's been very hard to defend thus far.
The Departure continues to the lockdown. He's walk up throws and things like that. Drive rush, crouching knee punch starter. Departure out and about once again. Trying to get that impact situation, not going to happen. The dash up just gets a punish counter throw as well. Look at these fantastic starts from Aqua. And how do you route this back? Oh, that's how you get the knockdown.
That's a good start, yeah. Getting that fireball. Had to block that afterwards. Gets the throw bait. Aqua falling susceptible to one of his own devices from the previous round. The anti-air. Yeah, John Takeuchi definitely sniffing that out. 100% ready for the call out against Aqua. So smart.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where like this character we've already seen on Twitter have had issues for air tiring. We see air to airs from these characters, from these players, I should say. Air throws too as well. Finds a finesse and bless, a nice little shimmy. Heavy mixer into the Asar, got some distance with it. Now puts out that level 2. 4 medium punch, a double halal. Oh no. Overhead lands.
The overhead. Gets a continuation. Super machine kick. You know it, the perfect right back from John Takeuchi. Man, that was actually such a juicy combo. We were talking about that just now, right? Being able to get ready, or sorry, set up with the enhanced side clone, just sitting there idly by, into the OD spinning mixer, into the kick follow-up. There we go, man. So much damage.
You were optimal, you could definitely double out damage with this character. I mean, that's, again, why people, when they first got a hold of the character, like, he does no damage. But once you optimize those sequences, those situations, Rashid can definitely shine. Wind sword, push him in the corner. Okay, there's an OD amnesia. We haven't seen that defensive option. Lands himself outside that corner, which is good for Aqua. They get the follow-up, though.
Oh. Gets set up for the departure. Yeah, and I like Aqua putting it right in front of him, and it halts John Takeuchi from trying to close the gap with a drive rush, even like thinking about throwing in a fireball as well. It's been very, very solid from Aqua, just kind of dictating the pace and also taking a lot of the damage away from John Takeuchi.
Like the overhead denied with a crouching right punch applied, countering combo. Should be able to seal the deal right here. Pierce, oh, I lied. One more hit is all he needs. This distance, though, it's going to be difficult. Takeuchi does have bar, but it doesn't matter the low. Stops him from coming in. And Stabio set point is Aqua. He's still in.
It's always the crouching medium kick that catches everybody, but it's also going to be the Goon Squad coming in. Yeah, gets the full conversion. Are we going to do the attack on the drive impact? No, it's going to be just sending him full screen, setting up departure. Yes, the harassment afterwards.
I like that idea, but just too far the distance for that forward heavy kick. Using the drive rush to get in. Teleport situation, he's out of there. Stand fear. Oh, didn't have a follow-up of that counter, but he's still in such a lead. John Takeuchi needs to use that bar at the bottom. That's when we see him really shine. Drive rush throw, puts him in the corner. There's the Asar. You got enough distance, just like Street Fighter 5. But the jump, the neutral jump, that jump heavy kick, working out.
Oh, so close to. Oh, this is gonna be a start of a big problem for Aqua. Oh, he got hit! No. He can set up for Asar again if he can find a safe spot to do it. And he snuck in the drive impact into the Asar. That's gonna be more than enough damage. Yeah, he still had the enhanced OD spinning mixer behind it. He could have included some even extra damage just in case Aqua happened to survive that. But man, what a rebuttal from John. But more importantly, man, that's gonna be a huge detriment to Aqua. He's not blocking the overhead. He's gonna be in the corner. This might just be a problem.
However, level 2 comes through. All right, what do we have? Forward heavy kick. Pierce, that's the departure again. Hold the throw ball, make that follow-up. Yes, sir. OD goes. Pierce once again. Bad situation. Like, you whip the throw, it don't even matter, bro. The departure's out with that Pierce situation from above. Backs up trying to find an anti-air. He actually committed to the stand Pierce. It did not work out.
Oh, and he's going for the offensive. He's going for the kill. He doesn't want to even leave it to check. No, not again! He got stuck mid-air. Oh, the forward throw. Isar! Yes, sir. This is going to be the big offensive for John Takeuchi. Aqua, he's trying to snipe out the movement against John. He's throwing in a couple of looks with the jump! And that's exactly why you're not allowed to jump! How many big comebacks has John Takeuchi had? Again, Aqua, as soon as he saw John Takeuchi move forward, he knew already. John sent that Isar right towards his doorstep, and that was genius. Man, I'm telling you, a lot of Rashid players, they're so sneaky when it comes to their movement. Seeing that tornado hit is such a satisfactory thing. It's such a good feeling because it's like they have the read. It's like I knew you were gonna try to jump and possibly snipe out movement, so I was ahead. I was way ahead of you. I knew it was coming. So that's so well played from John Takeuchi. Comeback after comeback after comeback. I think the entire set, he was coming in from the back foot.
Yeah, really. I mean, there's some drops here from Aqua continuously. There was a sequence where he could have finished it off if he did just a simple combo into the light crystal slash. That could have been the end right there. But to pick it up on the side of John Takeuchi in a stressful situation and to come back from the back foot from a character that, you know, we don't typically see comebacks from this character unless he's being able to slip out these moments and find these overheads. I mean, John Takeuchi is a clutch master right here. And I love the fact that he's using that level 2 with extra utility for anti-airs to set up shop for overheads and things like that. It's not just about the mix, it's about putting you in some bad situations. And this is a bad situation for DetonatioN. They may be out. It may be over. We said you cannot lose any games, bro. And it may be the end for DetonatioN. We'll figure out the
Hiroshima
point standing. Oh.
DetonatioN won.
I mean, Hiroshima took that. Oh, you're right. My bad. Oh my God. You're right. DetonatioN taking that. So Hiroshima. Let me reverse that. I'm so sorry.
You got it. And action. Go ahead. It's you.
All right. And Hiroshima. I mean, they can score at least 30 points and still be okay. So losing one game isn't the worst thing, but they got to be picture perfect from this point on for Hiroshima. Now, DetonatioN on their side, still looking for that 40 baller, but that's a fantastic start on their side of things. John Takeuchi betting on the Rashid, working out. Let's see who comes up next. It's going to be, again, do or die time. So where I think you place Fudo is going to be very imperative. I would assume Fudo goes at the very end as the anchor, and maybe Nauman is like second.
I like that. I think I like that idea. I haven't really seen Nauman play, if I'm not mistaken. Taking a look at the current stats overall. Let me go ahead and flip the page real quick. Yeah, so John Takeuchi, I feel like hasn't really participated as much in the 11 sections that we've had thus far in the first half. Considering there's also one more set of games for them to play afterwards. Is it going to be Nauman coming up? It is! Good call. But, man, it's Kichipamu's Lily. Ooh, big interesting. Remember what I talked about earlier? If this matchup ends up in a 20 to 25 ball game for these two teams, it might just be over for both of them. So imagine a world where Kichipamu actually falls short with his Lily against Nauman's Ken, and then the anchor match ends up going in favor of Hiroshima Team Ikaza. That would be a very destructive set for both ends. But to my point earlier, man, Nauman hasn't really participated in a lot of the games thus far. He's won 2 out of the 4 games that he participated in. But it was against strong opponents, right? He lost against Nemo and Torimeshi. Very tricky playstyles, but he did beat Ryusei and Gachikun. So with that, with those types of stats, I think, you know, Nauman saving him for the last couple of games is a pretty good strat.
On the other side of things, I'm surprised that Kichipamu is going for the Lily, of all things, or even him coming up to bat right now, considering what's on the line. And, you know, his pedigree is fantastic. He's a super strong player. We all know this. But he has lost every single game that he has had. He is 0 out of 4. He lost to Bonchan, Mago, Fujimura, and Dogura. But at least, you know, losing to one of the best skins in the business might help you have something to go off of. But again, the Lily pick of all things, we said that, you know, last time we saw him wasn't fully baked, you know, wasn't fully ready. And I don't think this is the most fantastic matchup for the side of Lily. There's a lot of things that Ken can do to put this character on the back foot, and not having a reversal as a rebuttal is dangerous. And I feel like his normals are really good with this matchup overall. Drive, impact, distance is fantastic. I feel like just Ken can, you know, he's already a top tier character, but I feel like this is one of those matchups that's going to be even more so bad for Lily. But maybe we'll see a miracle right here. I'm just curious to see why we're seeing Lily from the side of Kichipamu, considering what is on the line for Hiroshima Team Itsuka. They're so close that possible qualification, obviously depending on other teams too as well, but to put it on a new character that we haven't really seen in the league or participating in the league, I'm not sure. I mean, Kichipamu said, I did everything I needed to. I'm just going to win. Nauman says, I'm going to explode everything all to get to the second stage. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things in this matchup, I think Aru had mentioned it a little bit earlier, like while you were talking. One of the biggest problems, I think, is the fireball game. I think Ken having possession of a fireball can also dampen what Kichipamu might want to do with Lily. It also checks a lot of Lily players from being able to safely stock up wind. Sure, they have like Condor Spire as well if they could react to it, but for the most part, that alone, just that strategy alone, the very basic understanding of like knowing the fireball is there and when they can actually act is so tough. Because if you're not acting against it, or if you're not actively looking for it, you're gonna be stuck, right? Or not finding the counters to it, you're gonna be stuck. And if Nauman's not throwing the fireball, he's getting you closer and closer to the corner. So that, just from like a basic understanding, is very, very tough for Lily players. And I think overall, Nauman's understanding of Shoto characters, he's gonna know exactly when to throw fireballs against Lily and when to close the gap.
100%. Plus that driver assistance with driver stand fierce, medium kick can stop the raw stocks. So Kichipa is gonna have to sneak in those. All right, through the air right there. We see him challenging the fireball. That is one option you can utilize against these fireballs. Get an aerial with it. Stocks up, has one wind stock. Now finds a crosscut. OD SBD.
And I feel like we haven't seen a lot of those SPDs at all from Kichipamu as Lily. I think for the last time where he debuted as Lily here in Street Fighter League, I don't think he landed a single command grab, which is kind of wild to hear, or wild to say. Oh, he's crouching.
So damage access.
The back throw.
Yeah.
Oh, no counter hit conversion from Nauman.
He finally finds the anti-air, trying to get the impact, but there's the grip. Kichipa said, I remember what special move it was that I need to utilize. And again, that's the biggest damage here. And you set up shop for that strike throw game that, you know, we know D4 and other grapplers for, but here we go. Strike throw from the side of Ken Gitsin with the crouching medium punch starter. Shinrai kicks, ends it with a DP, passes way up in the corner. OD, we bust out. And it's gonna get throws, so we have the stocks up.
Oh, that was sick. I love that trade for Nauman any day of the week. Yo, Kichipamu spending the OD gauge, also losing the wins. What? Man, he's wasting win stocks.
And he burning money like that.
He still got 2 left in the tank. Yeah, saving it for the drive reversal. Oh, that's, yeah, that is it's negative enough to get a punish, but thinking 2 steps ahead, getting the command grab, that was really, really smart from Kichipa. Oh, and he perfectly got, yeah, the drive impact leading him into the critical art. And that's gonna be a lot of damage. I love that animation. The first time I saw that, I'm like, that's pretty good. All right, Capcom, you got me. You sold me on this character. I think she's a great inclusion just because of that. That was actually pretty dope.
One of those characters that, you know, people for the right reasons look down upon, but like any character in Street Fighter 6, they can be strong. Kichipa, you know, maybe taking that loss that he had to heart and really grinding out this character. We see more of the command grabs as part of his balanced breakfast, and that's important. That's the biggest axis of damage, or at least one of the biggest axes of damage that we are going to see from that character. A little bit tighter when it comes to win stocks. Now, I do like the idea to go for a drive reversal, you know, sometimes, but it put himself in burnout, and that is bad against this character. Overall, though, footsie game really fantastic from the Kichipa, looking like a different guy. And it's not like this character has not did work, you know, as people are mentioning it in the chat. Hibiki had recently won a tournament, a very stacked tournament. I think it was over like, what, 3 days ago or so. So that character can definitely do work.
Yes.
Like, don't get it twisted. Any character in Street Fighter 6 can give you hands. They ready to eat for everybody.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to take a look at that. I actually had seen that tweet going around. It was a pretty stacked tournament. I think it was Online Warrior 103 by Spirit Zero. Yeah, he ended up taking it against like Shara Chun, Rain Pro, Guile, Emperor, Luke, and Ken. There was a really diverse roster, actually. Yanai was in that too, playing Marisa Modern. And then there was also a Mono. That was crazy. NL was in there too. A lot of heavy hitters. So again, there is potential from Lily, and that was classic Lily at that.
Kichipa gets the air to air right there. Look at this. Finds a follow.
Yeah, that was so cool.
So you can hand stop. No, we flying the side switch with the Dragon Lash. Puts him up in the corner. These fireballs,
yeah, absolutely
doesn't matter.
waiting
Punch
for
counter.
it. It's so difficult too to kind of time. Oh, that was the meatiest fierce ever, man. That was like roast beef, sandwich size, Philly cheesesteak, you name it. The entire fist was in her face.
like past her skull. It was nasty. It was disgusting. It looked like a different game entirely. But man, Nauman, again, fierce to face style. How do you like that?
Loving the fact that Nauman's coming back. We do see him, get a little bit more aggressive. However, Kichipa puts him in the corner. Finds a counter press him, but try to get a command grab. Unfortunate, I like that. Hold north so you don't go south. And the jump out was fantastic for Nauman, but he misses a Dragon Lash. I'm not sure if he's looking for like a throw tag. Risky option, but does find the Dragon Impact. I think we see a Dragon Lash. That's why I went for that. That's why he's going for level 3 to kill that bar at the top, the drive gate as much as possible. Put him in the corner. And actually get the lead now. Fireball like that. Put him in burnout. Impact. Perfect sequencing here for Nauman. And this should be enough for the finish. Jinrai, DP. Not enough. I lied to you.
No.
Wake up, Super. No way.
He sat there the entire time thinking you wouldn't get command grab. He gave him the smug shout out. And that's Kichipamu. Patented monkey magic playstyle right there. As soon as the critical art landed, he was popping off. That was so in style of Kichipamu. Got him.
Set point here for Kichipa. Hiroshima team Itsuka. Remember, he need that 30 baller. Just to stay in. And again, once again, the command grabs, the throws, things like that, the strike throw game. Pushing Nauman back to the corner. Drive reverse to back him up a bit. It's that fireball game, but we just see the normal parries here from Kichipa. Content just to wait.
Trying to get a little bit sneaky, trying to utilize the wind stuff right in front of Nauman too. The command grab is gonna get blown up sky high. Enhanced Tatsu for the quarter carry. The frame kill into the run, making him think it was gonna be something else. And the one time he went for a different special art, super art, excuse me. Nauman capitalized on it. Shifu Jinrai. Living up to the name. Really well done from Nauman, all tied up one apiece. This is actually terrifying. Even if Nauman gets this W right here, it could still be problematic for both teams. I really can't see this happen to the point where it becomes like a sudden death match, because then we might say goodbye to two teams.
At the same time, man, told you Street Fighter League this time would be hella brutal. And it's not just like the format, it's the fact that these players, these teams have gotten so strong. Contention is hella close, and this match is hella close to final game between the two. Drive reverse to back him up a bit again, trying to get that overhead situation. Knockdown, double dash in with that light starter. Stocks up on the knockdown. Jawab Singh super aggressive, but it doesn't matter. Dragon Lash, side switch immediately.
Good confirm on the target combo, by the way. Yeah, he initially got his crouching jab blocked by Kichipamu. As soon as Kichipamu moved, he still managed to catch or get caught by Nauman. That was really smart, and also just great attention to detail too. Getting that confirmed. What is that? That's gotta be some sort of bait, right? I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that's the first time I've ever seen any Elite player kind of utilize that.
Yeah. Recovery, I feel like Driver Stand Fierce might catch them, but maybe not. Oh, he about to drop, punish, counter, throw. We'll seal the deal. Nauman not biting. And now he is on set point.
I love this song, by the way. The Thunderfoot settlement? No. Oh, he missed the rest of the combo. Nauman. It's all right. He's still going to make it hurt. Still manages to get this corner positioning. Oh, crouching exclusive. Yes, sir. Get the crouching only combo. Oh, you're dead. Level 3 incoming. That's going to be a perfect. Nauman sets up for the rest of the team. DetonatioN FocusMe now has a very difficult ask for their last member, but man, you can see Kichipamu is absolutely torn apart, man. He is completely distraught on camera.
It's just, again, the difficulty of being in the corner against Ken, as every character feels, but without reversals, it's even more so problematic for this character. And also, I like the way that Nauman guided him. It wasn't just the confirms, the corner carry, things like that, or like the side switch with the Dragon Lash. It was also like drive reversal, which you have to utilize against this character. And it's something that Nauman did very well, especially at the very end to get his win. And the optimization too as well, as you pointed out, the crouching combos, things like that. Sticking in the crouch fierce when need be to maximize the damage off those Jinrai kicks to get the victory. Nauman, man, looking super sick, and I think that secret weapon that they have for detonation working out the full effect. But overall, man, Kichipa, I see the idea with Lily. I feel like if he had like one more week with this character, we might be seeing more work. And if he had maybe went to the character, you know, like maybe earlier in Street Fighter 6's you know, lifespan, maybe would have caused him a few more upsets, a few more W's and things like that. But woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, it's hard when his actual main is on the screen, right? When he has Zangief available, it's kind of like, why would I play anybody else, right? But little did he know, little did the rest of the world know, really. But looking into it, right? So the stats overall, I think doesn't really tell the entire story from Nauman, because he was kind of playing back foot to whatever it is Lily wanted to do, outside of just kind of throwing out the fireballs as well. As soon as he was in a comfortable spot to like move on in sporadically, like get a jump in going or even get a drive rush going, that's when you really started to see Nauman turn it up. But for the most part, you can see why his numbers are so low in comparison to Kichipamu's, right? But looking at Kichipamu's, at least his anti-airs somewhat decent, right? 2 out of 3 in terms of OD reversals. We talked about the critical art and also one of the super arts that he managed to throw out there. Critical art, super clutch. The other one, not as much. That was something that all players were kind of ready for, being able to just parry that. But when it comes to like any critical art with that's a command grab, or any super art that's a command grab, that's where it gets tricky, right? That's where you actually can't just throw out like the parry or just sit there and block. It eliminates that option pretty well. So I think, you know, having Kichipamu hold on to level 3 would have been so much more beneficial as a wake up option against Nauman. He had to like really think about that too. But you're looking at the situation here. I'm almost certain that when I was reading the rules prior to Street Fighter League starting, that if there is a tiebreaker that happens, I think they consider head-to-head games. And Hiroshima Team Ikusa, right? They still have potential to get 25 points overall, right? They could have Jazzy win this against Fudo. They could potentially, right, get 20 points for themselves. Then in the sudden death, if they win that 5 points, they're technically tied with Good 8 Squad for 125, right? Both apiece. But that's really up to Good 8 Squad to not score well for their last game, which is going to be after the weekend on Tuesday, right? They're banking on Good 8 Squad to not score a single point. Then it would be the tiebreaker determinator, right? So that's a very interesting kind of predicament that they're currently in. Hiroshima Team Ikusa, they do have a fighting chance, but if they have to have all the stars aligned, they have to have like the blood moon come out, they have to have like an assistance of Kuma, etc. Somebody has to like get the flu and not play the whole thing. Somebody has to like walk their cat, I don't know, what have you.
Yeah. But I definitely you see like the how bad it is out here. Like you have to hope for the demise, hope that someone drops just like a game-winning combo, hope that they just are not on form. We have seen Good 8 Squad lose. Obviously, that's why they're there. So, like, it's possible, it's doable, but, you know, hoping that the other teams pull it out for you for the victory, you know, like, it's such a difficult thing. Now we see Fudo versus Jazzy. So, the Legend Killer going up against a legend himself. It's going to be difficult right here. Jazzy says his team has no chance of proceeding, but the team was a really good team. We are going to figure if that is the truth, though. Because I don't know.
Yeah, because if Good 8 Squad, if Good 8 Squad happens to score absolutely nothing in next week's team battles, you'll still have 2 teams tied at like 125. If Hiroshima Team Ikusa manages to win, like if they happen to take it all down from the anchor position, and then in the sudden death.
Right. I feel like, you know, maybe they're thinking about that. Maybe they're thinking on that area. Like, there's no way that Good 8 Squad will not score a point. But we'll see though. But I hope that this isn't the case. I hope that there's at least a chance, a fighting chance. It's gonna make this battle even more intense, even more entertaining. You know, going back to Jazzy real quick though. Again, the legend slayer, the legend killer, becoming a legend in and of himself. Fantastic loop player. Wasn't on form last time we saw him, and you know, Kazunoko even noted that in his interview, but has taken down Nemo, Fujimura, Pugera, Momochi, has lost to Iguchi and Akira, but has overall won 4 of his 7 games, definitely becoming one of the breadwinners, if not the breadwinner of his team.
Yeah, he has a better record than Fudo, I can tell you that much, that's for sure. 2 out of 7 from the side of this legend, and that's kind of very interesting to see. Fudo was one of the top point earners like season after season in Street Fighter League Japan, in Street Fighter 5. And he's utilizing different characters. He's got some pretty good looks. He's got DJ and Dalsum to cover up his matchup spread. But according to his record, right, he's lost to Fujimura, lost to Shuto, lost to Bonchan, lost to Tachikawa, and that's all in order too. That's all sequential, right? That's not me like cherry picking all of his losses. That's literally the first 4 weeks he's gone and fallen short. He only got his first W in what I think like last couple of weeks ago, like actually against KB's JP and against Machivo as well. Then he lost again to Mago. So we'll see how it plays out against Jazzy. Jazzy again was being called out last time for not playing to his utmost potential, according to Kazunoko, as you mentioned.
Do a fantastic job right there, playing to his potential with punishing that stand fierce, getting punish counter. Fudo puts him in the back, with the back throw. So financial school light kick, impact, we react. Jazzy is not gonna let that splat happen. Charge knuckle, of course. Chaser, will jump, maybe try to call out that stand medium kick, maybe a little bit late, I'm not sure.
How did you manage to get that? Okay, I thought he was gonna confirm off of the back heavy kick, but man, I love the neutral jump against the drive rush, and that's really smart, right? Against DJ players, against anybody who likes to kind of drive rush forward, using the neutral jump option against like all the horizontal play has been very, very satisfying to see in the current meta, right? That's always going to be a valid option, I think.
Damn, what a drive rush light punch starter. Maximum upper into the maximum amount of damage with that level 3. Let me see that massage parlor. So again, from the back, now hit it from the front. Tons of damage, and you're posted up in the corner, not where you want to be here if you're Jazzy. For me to kick the drop him down, ODDP wants to fool to a goblin.
What?
The bust out nice jackknife. Yeah.
It's so smart too. Like we always talked about Luke's jumping fierce being a fantastic jumping normal. Oh, and that's gonna be an even better response against the drive rush. But yeah, Luke, he could do it all. But Fudo, he was very attentive to that jump in from the last round. But speaking of being attentive, Jazzy spending all the meter early. That's such a good look against the drive rush. But now what do you do, right? He's spending his own drive rush afterwards.
That's the strategy. You get that level 3, get that big lead, and back yourself up with a drive cage. 2 times with the throw. Not gonna happen again. ODDP bust out, perfect parry. OD fireball trying to drive rush in against the impact, and that's that Jazzy with the first victory. Oh, calculated.
And that was a Jazzy we like to see, man. That was actually the kind of matchup that is, it's unexpected when you first see Jazzy, but as we watch him play like throughout weeks and weeks of the league, man, he has the potential to like soar above a lot of the competition, man. Oh, and I get the OD bust out. You were like in an extra negative position because you were caught crouching. Oh man.
You stand fierce, sticks in the impact. Yeah, you are deader than dead right now. OD jackknife for the finish, perfect KO. The side of Fudo, switching it up instead of just drive rush light punch with the throw. And even though it's such a grazing thing, it matters so much in what you're doing with that oppression and approach right there. Now putting in the medium punch. Jazzy's got to be careful. I feel like in these big stages, Jazzy hasn't been here as continuously. Has to be able to shore it up and say, I'm here for a reason. There we go. Gets a back throw on the parry. That's the punish counter too as well.
Man, those dashes going unchecked. Fudo trying to throw in manual looks without the green stuff. Jazzy, man, he's got modern reactions now too.
Still classically trained. Driver's back throw, I like that from Fudo.
The cybernetic implants, huh? Being able to snipe people out. Oh, just cool sway, he's testing out. Jazzy trying to move forward, the anti-air is there. And I love this look from Fudo too. If he's trying to play defense, he'll just sit there, maintain the charge, and ask Jazzy to come forward. Just like that, yeah, just waiting for him. And it's hard to tell too from that range. Oh,
dang.
What a stop. That is a very, very active button. Crouching medium punch is a great stopper because of how active it is.
And that, backing off, just as you pointed out, like making him, like puppeteering him to come to him to get that win, right? Like you are wanting to get that return over. You're trying to get some damage on the table. And like backing off to kind of say, hey, come on, come through, come on. and the immediate crouching medium punch to stop and stuff the drive rush. On the reverse of things, we're not seeing that stoppage of drive rush or any of the other buttons that we see from Jazzy continuously as this match goes on. It's just been Fudo running drive rush dashes and things like that, and we haven't seen those challenges from Jazzy. He's got to get back to the way that he is, back to the old him. Not continuously at the very end, it didn't feel like. It felt like
I feel like he was throwing in crouching medium punches a lot. That's when Fudo decided to throw manual looks. Like he was starting to throw out like a couple of dashes first, and then once he had the life lead, he just sat there. Like Fudo was just sitting there waiting for Jazzy, and that was off of like a 2-turn sequence too. Like Jazzy's been giving him massive looks against the drive rush right out the gate with what, level 3 crouching medium punches, also neutral jumps. He's been throwing a lot of looks against drive rushes. That's why Fudo was the one that kind of pump the brakes to his own drive rush, right? Like as soon as he got that life lead, he was just chilling. He wasn't trying to overextend. You mentioned it earlier. You literally just talked about it. Like Fudo not wanting to overextend in his own game and force Jazzy to come to him. He was pumping his brakes, just waiting for Jazzy to make those mistakes.
what Jazzy needs to do now, besides, you know, maybe shore it back a little bit. I'm not sure what Jazzy needs to do. Maybe drive rush over it, but I feel like, I don't know. I don't know what Jazzy needs to do with these situations. Feels like Fudo has that perfect distance to bait out Jazzy. Maybe a little bit more of that walk forward.
Oh, immediately after the fireball, the drive rush doesn't get checked. Man, that jump in was everything for Jazzy, timing the heavy fireball for the punish perfectly. What a read.
There we go. Going down with the throws. He's not trying to pay out with the shimmy. Caught him on the landing frames. Punish counter. Chaser. Yeah, backdash away from danger.
Oh, that was just very fortunate for Fudo. Yeah, that was preemptive. Yeah, so that's the option that Jazzy was going for literally 2 times over. He missed the first drive rush. That was after a fireball, so that was pretty sneaky. The previous 2, he parried in contention for yeah, that's gonna be just fine, I think. If you're Jazzy, like in contention for the drive rush forward. That's really, really slick, showing different looks on defense. And speaking of different looks, the barrage afterwards, peppering the lights, excuse me.
Back throw immediately. Might be pamper time right here. Level 3 on the side of Fudo. Oh, beautiful stoppage again. That crouching medium punch is a money button. Doing that drive gauge, more importantly. Has him caught up in the corner. Oh.
Hey, he was ready for it. He was sitting there. And that puts you into such a bad position too, because you are in burnout. DJ's fireballs are going to be commanding a lot of the damage and also a lot of the screen space too. So Jazzy again now getting a big jump in against the fireball. That was actually so slick.
Fireball times have been really good. Reading the fireball times have been fantastic for Jazzy. You have those blessed jumping heavy kicks and fierces. It makes sense. Jazzy dumping out the damage and dishing it out. Oh, no, empty nothing right there. Doesn't matter. Fudo mashing with that stand light punch, fastest butt for that character. Women burnout. Let's get to work. Drive rush medium. Hella meaty. He's always been
that's a lock because of the burnout.
The lockout.
Look at the amount of damage. He's looking for the chip. He's not going to get it, though. And yeah, Fudo, hook, line, and sinker. Like, man, Jazzy had enough time to recover out of burnout, even if Fudo decided to do another sequence into, like, OD fireball into the level 1.
Oh, yeah, he would have lived, right?
Yeah, he absolutely would have lived.
Fudo. Jazzy still had a little chance at life, but just overextended. But that's great that Fudo even called off that even happening. Run the parry, got the bar back, and just like that, Fudo off to a fantastic start. Once again, that just cool light kick punish counter coming through in the clutch. ODDP bust out from Jazzy. Needs to get some space up in this place, but Fudo back in again. These charge times, these anti-airs, everything's on point here for Fudo.
Yeah. Oh, the drive rush back to back. And I'm surprised Jazzy hasn't gone for like OD uppercut against some of the drive rushes off of canceled normals. Like, I get he doesn't want to like put himself in burnout, but I think that's the second time thus far in these last couple of games I've seen him kind of let Fudo in. Man, drive rush to drive rush. You hate to see the crash course collision, but going in favor of DJ almost every single time that engagement has happened. I think it's happened a couple of times over. There we go. Oh, the uppercut. We were just talking about it. Speaking of which, jackknife in response from Fudo.
Like, he switches on the drive rush buttons that we see here from Jassy. Like, we've seen overhead. I want to see that more continuously, especially when you think that Fudo is just waiting for those jump in situations. Perfect parry. Take him to the corner. Level 1 to kill that drive gauge. Now let's go to work. Nice. Finds the punish counter. Light knuckle. Nothing big, though. No back throw. Fudo knew what was going to happen.
I love the feint, man. I love the feint in the Japanese voice actor. Come on. It's so good.
Come on.
Counter hit, but nothing of it as well. No longer in burnout. Fudo, he gets to play with all that meter as well. Dash up, the feint.
Just cool. Man, if that was punish counter. Oh no, he didn't have the hit. That's gonna be a fantastic punish here. Dumped out in terms of damage. Fudo takes to the massage parlor and takes the anchor match. That means 40 points. Detonation, FocusMe. A resounding victory on that team. 3-1 against a Legend Slayer.
So you're telling me there's a chance. So you're telling me DetonatioN FocusMe is alive in the running? I thought they were cooked. I thought they were done. It's Fudo? Man.
I thought it was over.
I hope. Jeez, brother. I have never seen him this animated ever.
You're right.
He's doing the level 3. He's doing the level 3. I hope his kid is watching. I hope his kid is watching his dad be a goober and also takes after him, because that is adorable. I love Fudo, man. But yeah, that is a 40-point ball game, ladies and gentlemen. DetonatioN FocusMe breaks the 100-point barrier, now at 110. Officially overtaking Hiroshima team Iguza. Iguza no longer able to make it out alive. And, you know, this is a very hard spot to call. I think DetonatioN FocusMe, again, they have potential of another 40-ball game for their final matchup, which is going to be next week. And it's up to Good 8 Squad, really, to score as many points as possible in that next week. NAGOYA Ultra Body Star also is in a very interesting spot. They need to score a near perfect game. No, they need to score a perfect game. What am I saying? They need a perfect game as well to stay alive. But talk about the teams right now. DetonatioN FocusMe, they got to be feeling ecstatic, right?
Man,
it is on going first, sitting down for it. I think that was a good call too.
Yeah, just back to Fudo, I just want to say, man, just to see him after losing so many games and not be as on form as he was previously, a big breadwinner out there in the league the previous year, and now definitely back in business, especially when his team needed him for the clutch, was fantastic. But even, beyond that, the fact that we saw John Takuchi also take that victory too as well with that Rashid, way better, way stronger, way more solidified in the mix, and also a comeback king. Itabashi says that it was a tense game. He thanks the teams for the 40 points. And I think, honestly, I agree with you. Like, I think it's good to put him on the side for a little bit, Geef, especially in these situations where you need as many points as possible. Maybe not the best to put out, considering the characters and the players that are on the other side of the team, and he does not maybe not having the points and the amount of momentum that he'd like to have comparatively.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I think benching him up until second half would be pretty smart going into it. But yeah, just taking a look overall at how overall at how Itabashi has been performing. He hasn't been doing like the best. He's currently 0-3, but putting the your best foot forward is what really counts, right? Being able to like have the rest of your teammates and have faith in them to accumulate some of these points is really what's going to matter here, because they need another 40 baller, right? To actually stay alive, they need another 40 baller. But looking at the rest of the statements, John Takeuchi, he asked for the first game. He took the initiative, make the executive decision. He's like, I want to go in first. He was too nervous during the game, but I feel like, the nerves didn't really prevail. John Takeuchi, especially with the way he played against Aqua's JP, being the comeback kid, I couldn't even tell that he was actually nervous. He was such a pro in handling every situation.
those nerves like strengthen you, you know, like they hyper focus you on your task and things like that. The weight of your team and how much this means and how much you need in terms of points and to play perfectly maybe just makes you stronger. So, you know, those nerves probably helped him out. Nauman says he practiced for Lily since Kichipa showed him last week. Didn't work out as well as he thought, but he thought Ken was great. I think it's actually gonna, you know, it's great that these players are definitely looking at the other teams and saying, hey, they pull out this character, there's a big chance we might see him next week, maybe so, but just in case, let's get ready for this character. You probably did work against, you know, getting ready for Geef or Honda or what have you. But for like characters like Lily, you have to go really out of your way to practice and lab out a character that you don't typically see. And I like that they had that awareness and knowledge to have that strategy just in case Lily were to come up and they called the order correctly. Fudo says he wasn't really good at this game before the league started. And, you know, it's kind of wild for him to say that because, you know, watching his CFN and how he was operating and how he was playing and grinding out the game didn't seem like that. I remember him going on a lot of streaks, which is kind of wild, but maybe not at his level that he'd like to be at. And that's the mark of a professional player. He said, but the practice worked out for him.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's a champion, like a champion's champion, if you will. He has been like at the top of the peak for so long in the fighting game realm. It's no doubt that he knows exactly what needs to be done to make those adjustments and become back in prime fighting form, which is kind of scary. Like, even when he was in prime fighting form, you never know which variation of Fudo comes out. Like how fast he could beat you up, how meticulous he could be in slowing down the pace and still beating you up. There's different looks that Fudo can give. He can play different variations of different characters, and it's so scary, man. He has so many different looks. And man, I still remember thinking about his Fei Long back in the day in 4. This guy was an absolute problem. He looked actually invincible and one of the scariest players to even like play against. Like, there was an aura about him too, man. So there's just something about Fudo where, you know, if he's feeling not up to par with himself, best believe he knows exactly what to do to counter that or fix that.
I like the energy, you know, like maybe people think that, hey, you're doing great, you're doing good, but that's not where he wants to be, and that's the mark of an absolute champion. We're gonna get the interview from Hiroshima Team Itsuka. Unfortunately, they are on their way out. Aqua said, I'm so sorry our challenge ended, but he's really happy to play this year. And again, it's really happy we got to see Aqua. You mentioned that, you know, he had been restreaming and watching a lot of Street Fighter League previously, keeping up to date with all statistics and things like that, going over the matches on his stream. He has really committed himself to esports. He had left his job to do this full time. And even more so, we saw him also create like a little mini league that some of these players have gotten stronger from. You know, I think the second place Ken player that had got second at the World Warrior Japan event came from that league, Momento Mori, aka Kabe, and many other players have been strengthened from that league. So he's putting a lot of work, and it's great to see him out here at league just in general, you know, putting his mark on.
You can tell there's a really heartfelt apology coming in from Kichipa, and Storm Kubo just kind of blew it out of the water. He's like, man, what are you talking about? Like, it's not that serious, bro. That's what it felt like. But Kichipamu, man, that is a tough record. Looking at it, he went 0-5. He lost every single game, and he mentioned that. He said, I lost every game of the season. I was so weak, and had given a very solemn bow afterwards. And Storm Kubo had a little bit of a remark. I kind of wonder what Storm Kubo had said to remark after that. But Kichipamu, obviously, he's a professional gamer, right? He talks a pretty heavy game as well. He had mentioned he will be coming back stronger, so we are looking forward to that. We are looking forward to that from Kichipamu.
And for all these players too, hopefully they all are able to maybe come back in the next season. I especially would like to see Jazzy. I feel like he has been the MVP of that team, especially, and one of the MVPs out here at Street Fighter League, you know, being a Legend Slayer, and his first time really making waves. You know, first time coming out here making a ton of waves, like defeating a lot of top level players and things like that. Even though he lost today, and maybe it wasn't the biggest loss, you know, like I feel like overall he had made a lot of great victories and really showcased that he's like, yo, a threat. Definitely one person that people have to be looking out for. So actually Jazzy is coming up and we're having his interview real soon here. He says it was a good experience fighting during the season. And it's always been a good experience for these Street Fighter League players. You know, they are able to grind every single week. They have something to fight for. It's not just waiting for your World Warrior tournaments that happen every single month or whatever, like local tournaments that are happening, or maybe you're not traveling and you don't have anything on the horizon. It feels like they're always grinding. They always have their stream up. They're always labbing, and they're always getting stronger. And I feel like the Street Fighter League Japan always breeds champions that come out into the World Warrior events, in the CPTs. We saw it last season where Pugera was able to qualify. We may see it this season. It kind of makes sense because you take the best of Japan from, you know, from Japan just in general and put it in League. But I feel like it makes them stronger as competitors overall, though.
No doubt, right? We've seen champions come out of Street Fighter League and also masters of multiple characters coming in from like the ban rule, with the home and away system also in place, in combination of that or in tandem with that. And then of course, you know, there's a lot being said with the amount of talent that we have coming in from the players that participate in Street Fighter League, having to go through like gruesome battles week after week after week, sometimes on a day-to-day basis for like US and EU, but overall it creates for really great moments, right? And Storm Kubo actually had a chance to talk about that, right? He said, I have so many memories throughout this season. It's sad that we lost, but I was able to keep a smile on my face because of the team. So I love the spirit that Storm Kubo always comes in with, that energy every single week. Even if he loses, he has the same exact energy as if he were to win, so no problem there. I would love to see both of them come back. You know, Storm Kubo and Jazzy, they had a lot of potential. You know, Aqua as well. There was just so much coming in from the way that he's been improving with his JP. You've seen it week after week, right? And then, of course, Kichipamo again. I hope he figures out what needs to be done to kind of like get over the hump that he's at right now, like the big stop between like Zangief and Lily. I hope he's able to find like solace in either characters and commit to like figuring out how to play them at a higher level.
Look at the stats. One of the most important things we gotta look at is the anti-airs that came through from Fudo, how we puppeteered Jazzy to want to jump, to try to come in. The ground game was too strong, so he tried to go through the air. The DPs were coming through immaculately from the side. Fudo didn't have to do too much just in general, but just the idea of guiding and goading the opponent to like want to jump is a high level thing right there. And also, I feel like Jazzy, on the other hand, if I would like to see maybe like more drive rush overheads, he started doing those at the very end, and maybe that would have shifted the tide just a little bit, but I think Fudo was just too on game overall. Just looking at the stats also, all the throws were taken from the side of Jazzy, which I think helped lead to the demise, but you definitely will take the throw against the likes of a DJ. You might get hit with crouch fierce, punish counter, and eat 40% of your life off a just cool combo or more than that, depending on.
No doubt, no doubt. The stats again really highlighting the power of Fudo and also the power of Detonation FocusMe. 40 points against Hiroshima Team Iguza as we bid farewell to one team. We hold a light to Detonation FocusMe to see whether or not they can move on from out of the darkness that was 9th place, right? They were in last place, I feel like, out the gate, and now you're telling me they actually have potential to run it. So we were talking about like Detonation FocusMe being completely out of the running, and it sounded like it in multiple instances, right? But fact of the matter is, Good 8 Squad actually might be in trouble, right? Good 8 Squad still sitting at that borderline of 125 points. They're going to need all the help they can get, and I'm going to need all of the things that come out from this screen right here, right? I need both of those, the Ryu and the Chun-Li. I don't know what that is on the bottom left, but I want it. But also like the Street Fighter 6 with all the characters. That's my background, by the way. That little towel at the top, or if it's a desk mat, I would love that. Hook it up.
And again, I would love one of these shirts. Capcom, hook me up, because he's already got hooked up. Hook me up too as well. The Akuma, the Chun-Li, I'll take it all. The quality from what you have said and other people have said is fantastic. So, but if you're, if you have Amazon Japan, you can order yours. You just hit that QR code. But I'm not in Japan, so I got to figure out a way to get those shirts. And I'd like to get one of these jackets too. Yo, Capcom, come on, you tease me every single time, man. I would wear it on the stream. I would even show it off. The CPT events too as well. Hook me up.
Yeah, time's running out, man, because this says 2023 on it. But also, I really would love this specifically to showcase the artwork of the artists who had gone through and made this graphic. If there's any way to kind of like zoom in on it, we probably can't, but you can see it in the background, the slight background, Ryu versus Luke. Ryu's on a fight stick. Luke is playing on pad. It's actually the sickest thing. It's like the clash of the roster. So if you are in Japan, are able to order that, I highly suggest you do so to support not only Capcom but the artists that made it, man. That's actually really, really neat. And for those supporting Street Fighter League throughout the seasons, again, obviously we appreciate the heck out of you. A lot of the teams do as well. A lot of the fans that have been coming out in the team caravans and watching in person. If you guys happen to catch like the Western English version of it, obviously we thank each and every one of you. For those that are tuning in right now in the chat, we obviously appreciate the heck out of you guys as well, coming in from all walks of life and all different time zones, man. Time zones are hard enough. The fact that you guys are able to catch this every single time, and I see you, by the way. Obviously, we both see you very much so. But again, we appreciate the heck out of each and every one of you. And to kind of return that kindness, we want to make sure you guys are tuning in for the next match coming up. Nagoya Oja Bodystar versus Shinobism Gaming. That's going to be on the docket. Just in case you didn't know, for all the latest and greatest in news and updates for Japan, Capcom_esports is where you need to go and follow. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we talked about the chopping block. Nagoya Oja Bodystar, another one on the list. We'll see if they'll prevail against the School of Ninjas coming in from Shinobism Gaming in just a moment. In the meantime, grab a drink, grab some snacks. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
この後は試合準備のため休憩に入らせていただきます。20時15分からは第11節マッツー名古屋王者ボディスター対シノビズムゲーミングの模様をお届けしてまいります。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
お仕事お仕事。吸入されたコリアミルチンは中枢神経系でのガンマアミノレク酸受容体をブロック、痙攣性筋収縮が発生。完璧に作用したわ。チェンションどうしましょうかね。息の根止めちゃいますかね。お手入れお手入れ、毒がよく回りそうですね。 と最後に仕上げルック回りましたか
Street Fighter 6.
一番やっぱあるのは自分が不利な時に使うっていう使い方がパリの、使い方だと思うんですよ。
確かに
そのジャストパリっていうのがあってそれになった時にすごい恩恵があるからでその時の結構注意点があるんですけどジャストパリってボタンを押してから2フレ目まで取るとジャストパリになるんですよ、それが何なのかというと起き上がりパリ連打してもらっていいですか。これ連打してると取れないです絶対に。これ多分初心者知らないと思うんですけどじゃあジャストパリ取ってもらっていいですか。
いいですよ。
これむずいですよ。ただ目押しにおいできたみたいな起き上がりにちゃんと連打じゃなくて目押しで押さないといけないんですよパリ。これがね一番
知られてない
そう実は
事実ですよね
っていう
だから絶対に起き上がるタイミングでパリを押すといいです。
ガードしながら
そうなのでやっぱりこれ練習が必要です。
そうなんですよ。ジャストパリはむずいっす。でパリイコールジャストパリを目標にした方がいいです。だってちょっとやってもらっていいですかパリを。投げ見てくださいよ。バリ減るんですよね。
バリ減る
1.78 倍ぐらい減るんだよね、しかもドライブゲージも1本持ってかれるんですよ。だからそれものすごいリスクがあるんでリターンは常にやっぱ必要なんじゃないかなと思います。
Never feel loose. And when I get up in the game, y'all be improved. A real problem, but I solve them all facts proof. And if you think I'm gon' fold, then you talking.
さあここから
The drama continues here at Street Fighter League Japan season number 6. Vicious back at it again with Senkola to introduce these two teams coming up. The one coming up right now, though, Nagoya Oja Body Star. They need as many points as possible to stay alive. Taking a look at what the squad is looking like. The High Priest, Torimeshi, starting things off with that doll seem the ever tricky. Bonbabon followed afterwards, coming in with the hammer. Wait a minute, that's not Bonbabon. That is now KB with JP. The Professor, I can't, man, listen, I love saying it that way. It's Oniki coming in with his Kimberly as well. Then the Speedster coming in, lightning fast. It's Akira with the big old standing heavy punch, as always. But also, I feel like it kind of looks like a golf swing as well. I get that. The Kami main coming in, and that's the composition of Nagoya Oja Body Star.
We're taking a swing at Shinobism Gaming, the School of Ninjas. Starting off with the swankiest ninja around, that is Johnny on that Manon. Trying to put the work in with those command grabs and those grips to do it. Right after is going to be the Gravemaker, digging up digits for all of his opponents. Fujimura, the robot. After that is going to be the Vanguard, who sits in the wings and also sits in the frontal position. Now listen, it's Yamaguchi, World Warrior champion out here. After that is the leader himself, Momochi. That is Shinobism Prime, trying to stay fine. And speaking about fine, honestly, they're in a fine position right now. They're solidified to move on, but again, you need as many points as possible. You want to climb the ranks. You do not want to be lacking and slacking at any point in league. As we move on to the second section, they'll be moving on to as well. But we mentioned this. You want to be in that first place spot. You want to be at that top spot so you don't have to deal with the playoffs. You can sit in grand finals. You can sit pretty.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, being in a favorable position going into the playoffs is going to set you up for a pretty good spot. I mean, what else can you really say about the seeding? But the main storyline here right now is the Nagoya Oja Body Star sitting at 90 points thus far. This is their last game, potentially, of the season, of the first half, right? So if they manage to score themselves 40 points, they net themselves 130, which means that they would overtake Good 8 squad. They have pretty much their fate locked in based on what Good 8 squad does in their matchup next week, right? All of this could go pretty much out the window if Good 8 squad wins one game, literally one game. Then they secure their spot at least against the Nagoya Oja Body Star. But yeah, they need more than just 10, especially with DetonatioN FocusMe trailing pretty much right behind him. But KB, he knows the deal, right? His interview, basically, he knows the score. We need 40 points. They need as many points as possible, right? So they know exactly what is on the line.
Man definitely was shouting that out from the rooftops. Needing 40 points, that means no losses, no mistakes. Shinobism Gaming sitting in a more favorable position, can now send out the likes of Johnny, who maybe is in the wings waiting to play for a little bit. You know, we haven't really seen the best from him just yet. In fact, let me take a look at Johnny's scoreboard. It doesn't look like it's that strong. In fact, he's lost the 2 games that he has played. It's not a lot of games, but that's still all losses. Trying to get a victory out here, and that victory would seal the fate of Nagoya Oja Body Star. That would be a really big one. But overall, I feel like this matchup is one that I see many Manon players complain about. You know, projectiles have never been her fan favorite sort of thing, and I just watch IDOM have to deal with a JP player and lament the entire thing the entire time. So this cannot be that much that fun of a matchup just overall.
I feel like quite the contrary. You know, IDOM's been putting out a lot of highlight clips. Obviously, it's you know, it's crafted in a way to kind of show the light of like how much fun he's having. But he's like, you know, I just need one touch. Like there's that one Twitter post he put. He's like, I just need one touch in this game, and he ended up taking it against one of the JP players. Obviously, it's curated to show the advantages that he has as a pro player. That's not even just like the character. That's IDOM being IDOM, ladies and gentlemen. But no, I totally get it. I think a lot of the Manon players have kind of moved on from the character, other than perhaps IDOM and perhaps even like Johnny, right? The only other person that I guess that we could talk about is what 801 Strider who had made the full commitment into playing Marisa nowadays. But I don't see a lot of like Manon mains. Maybe like what, No Good Citizen, I guess, if we were to actually like consider other players in the West. That's all we got, I think. It's just No Good Citizen and IDOM.
I think there's the guy from E Random who's been making waves. He's won a few tournaments too as well. Yeah. I don't think there's that many other players though when you really think about it. Even Luffy has dabbled in other characters. We've seen him dabble in the JP and is getting that ready for World Warrior. So like in terms of like people maining this character, we really haven't seen someone like lock in a long time. And you know, Johnny, last time we saw him, he was like, I'm going to show you the power of Manon. Did not show us that just yet, so hopefully today is the way, and hopefully he is able to take down the Nagoya Oja Body Star, because they only need to take them down once for them to deny their advancement. It could be happening, but KP steps up to the plate first. Stampede punch as the start lands a command grab, 2 medals, more damage, dash up, another command grab.
She's putting the medals on herself. She's putting them on herself. She grabs them from her pocket And she awards herself during the ceremony. What a beast.
I deserve this.
It's not even I deserve this. I need this. I need this for me. I don't think you understand. Like these characters out here out muscling me. I need these.
It really does. Well, done with the damage, you need these command grabs and end it with a hit grab and seal the deal. And you know what that means. 5 medals in round 2 or 3 if need be. Woo, against JP.
That is a steal. If anybody asks me, hey, do you want one of these? Actually, it comes with 5 instead. Oh my God, and the damage! You need 2 more grabs and you win, Johnny. Can you do it? Can you do it? 2 more command grabs? Let me see it.
Careful. KB, have to keep this long distance. That's the relationship. Drive rushes in, actually, at the doorstep. Now the crouching mini kick. Parry. Walks back, not trying to get hit with these target combos. Calls out the amnesia. Forgot how to block. I got a way to make it drop. And this is bad. Won't kill, but it will put them at burnout. That means standing medium punch all day in the Manon play here.
It
or
doesn't
just the
even
overhead.
need to do it. Yeah, man. Plie. It's not a plie. But hey, I gotta say, man, Johnny applying the fear more so with the command grab to force the amnesia was really, really smart.
That might be like a reason why she's so hard to buff, because you know you up that damage off the fear, then she'll be dealing out damage there and the command grabs. But right now, Johnny's looking just fine up in this matchup so far. As soon as I say that, back to full screen, teleport, avoids a strike throw. So gets with that crouching medium punch though. Archer up again.
Oh, this is so difficult too. This exact spacing, or so I thought up until this point. Oh. What do you do? What do you do as Johnny now that you have KB fully establishing the projectile game? Oh, and the juggle. Yeah, what are you supposed to even do? Do you start using drive rush on your own accord? Do you start to be the one to initiate offense? It's so difficult when JP does have the normals to back it up, other than just the projectiles to stop Johnny from advancing.
We already saw that with the crouching medium punch. Even drive rush light punch is really good. I feel like for this character, she's a thirsty girl. She needs drive rush to get in. Doesn't have the most distance on her drive rush already, so you have to like walk and block to that stay in heavy kick range, and then you can kind of harass with the buttons. Oh, side switch, this is good, but oh, the amnesia, this is bad. You're in burnout against a Baron, a burnout. That is JP. Oh no, long distance. How do you get in against this character, bro? You have to do the snake eyes, walk and block.
Yeah, that's tough, right? And then, that's a lot of considerable chip damage. You do have your drive gauge back, but at what cost, right? You're at such a deficit. Manon still has such a hard time trying to get in. The anti-air was just there for Johnny. The KB now on the initiative. Level 2 again? Didn't we see one earlier? Brother! What do you mean
fact that this
there's
character
2 level 2s?
Builds up so much bar, getting so aggressive. That's maybe one thing I feel like people don't speak about in terms of JP and his strengths, is that he builds up that gauge so quickly, or maybe I don't see it enough in terms of complaints. But either way, I mean, that's something to consider here. Being aggressive enough to build up that bar at the bottom to get 2 of those level 2. KB,
yeah,
well calculated.
That's been the meta. Like looking at any other game, right? With any other character, you're building yourself about, like, on average, 1.5 bars to 2 bars every single time. And KB might have been sitting on a full 3 stock prior to that. So like him building up 1 bar is very, very easy.
Right there with the crouch fears. Here's for the finish. KB's found some rhythm against this character. Again, Johnny have to take a lot of risk and not find a reward to try to get in. You have to see how he adjusts himself, finds the overhead. Stand medium punch, drive rush right after to get in. I feel like if you don't do it early, you're coming back from a deficit, which is really difficult to deal with. That's a punish, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of punishes, got another one too. Gets the hard knockdown, looking for Oki, and trying to force the error from KB, but the defense was there. He's not going to be acting out of pocket just yet. We might see the OD amnesia for the next set of knockdown options from Johnny, but we'll see what happens afterwards. Set up the departure from behind. No, it's off the screen. Johnny gets to land this knockdown. Oki, command grab. No. KB contests with a low short instead, forcing Johnny to back off. And the overhead is there, and that's all she wrote. 2-1. KB coming in with the overhead, you sneaky dog.
fantastic stuff. And also checking the walk back with the crouching medium kick, like knowing that they're pensive about that OD amnesia. Very smart stuff from the side of KB, and they secure a victory, able to move on. But man, I mean, Johnny said we gonna beat up KB. It was the reverse. You know, KB even said himself, I was pretty relaxed, you know, relaxed in the moment. We're gonna do our best. This was prior. And he looked real smooth in the, you know, the second and third game right there. I think OD Amnesia definitely helping out to make Manon back off and be like, I gotta rethink what I can really do. If I do go for the overhead, if I go for the command grab, I might get blown up. And that, you know, enough to route that momentum back in his hands to, you know, get that drive rush overhead and seal the deal. Good stuff, KB. That's one game.
That's one. They need two more. And I know for sure Auto and Hamago are talking about that exact thing too. Nagoya Ultra Body Star getting 10 points under their belt. They have so much more to look forward to, right? But imagine that. If they happen to score the 40 ball, they just leave it up to Fate's hands. They could just let go of the wheel and be like, you know what? Let the fighting game gods determine our fate as a team. But looking at the stats, this is actually kind of unorthodox. I have never seen the stats hit 0, 0, and 0 for those last three coming in from like a JP player, right? No OD reversals. Well, OD reversal, I guess. I'm kind of questionable about like the stat for OD Amnesia specifically, but I wonder. Tech throw as well. No big attempts against Manon, right? She's mostly command grabs, so any of the throws that are coming in, that doesn't go against you. Drive impact, didn't see a single one. So anti-airs, not bad. Getting points, getting some stats where you can. On the offhand, 1 out of 3 from anti-airs coming in from Johnny. Then the tech throws 0 for 1. Yeah, not a lot of close range attempts at grabs coming in from KB. But I gotta say, there's a lot to really think about, right? He's been putting Manon full screen, 3/4 screen majority of the time. That's really impressive.
Where she needs to be if you're a zoner. Now, speaking of zoners, the original zoner that is Sim, still strong in this game. Maybe not as strong as he was in 5, but definitely still powerful in the hands of Torameshi. Going up against Momochi's Luke. Again, we see Momochi switching this character. He said that he didn't really want to play Ken because he already had, you know, they already have a Ken on their team, so they didn't want to have like, you know, repetitious characters or repeating characters, I should say. And maybe having Rashid for other matchups, but right now we really see him sticking to the Luke, especially up on the streams recently and on CFN. We'll be going up against Torameshi, the flighty, the always movement sort of style of Sim that really never is in one place or space. I feel like he's always up in the air with the floats, or he's always moving around or adjusting his positioning. It'd be hard to pin him down.
No doubt. Man, they are definitely in good spirits going into that interview. I don't know what that was all about, but Torameshi, him saying I'm not that good at the second game, but we need 40 points is actually kind of funny. Like I feel like I think he's a liar, to be honest with you. I think Torameshi comes in clutch a lot of the times. When we saw his performance from last season, I think he knows exactly what needs to be done to secure himself the wins. And all jokes aside, though, I think Luke versus Dawson matchup, I think it's kind of difficult for Dawson to kind of get Luke off of his back. But before that situation even arises, I think Dawson can keep Luke at bay. I think he does a pretty good job of playing the keep away game against his character.
I think if the zoning game is okay, like you're definitely gonna be okay as the sim player. Like I watch Safrino a lot, and I think he has some of the best like zoning ideas in the business with this character. Not only with like the normals, but with the fireballs and like the sequencing and structure that he has with his templates of like what he does. He'll like do like stand medium punch, back off, fireball, then jump up, do comment and stuff like that. Like the sequencing is so difficult to get a hold of and grasp that the sim player gets the lead. You're trying to overextend to get in, and it's just difficult to even start the party off. And that's what Torameshi I'm thinking is focusing on. You know, when I watch some players, it feels like that's the way to play. Because once Luke gets in, it's definitely deadly. The damage that's dumped out, the fact that Sim doesn't have the same defense as he has had previously, like no wake up Gale. You don't have like the V stuff. You have parry, but those options are blown up by throws, and if those are called out, that's punish counter too as well. Mochi will not let that go for free. So we'll have to definitely see like, you know, Mochi, you know, blow those things up if they happen. So Torameshi has to prevent that from happening in general. Torameshi, you know, as you mentioned, already said that he's not that good at the second game. We need 40 points. I think he's a liar too as well. Look at his record. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. 2 out of 5. Last time we saw him, he won against Nauman. I feel like that's when he kind of hit his stride. Momochi says we need 10 points, but we lost. Not in a good mood. I'll stop it there. I mean, they should be in a good mood because like they're moving on to the next section. But again, as many points as possible to stay in those top positions as we move to the second part of the season. Last time we saw him, he beat Dogura, who's been super dominant out in this season. So with this newly introduced Luke, well, I can't even say newly introduced Luke because I feel like people have been playing Luke since the demo, but the newly reintroduced Luke has been doing work recently. Let's see if it does work against the Sim.
Yeah, very comparable stats between the two. It could just be a coin toss now. Man, this is a bright Luke outfit. Dear God, my eyes. And at the Thunderfoot settlement, this guy, Momochi's cheating. No, I'm totally kidding. But hey, Torimeshi starting things off. Already getting rushed down. But again, we talked about some of the evasive maneuvers that he does have. The drill also being one of them. And drill kick is so important in this game. It's very similar to any sort of dive kick. But you know what's also important? The jumping heavy punch. So that thing is a menace. An absolute menace as a jumping.
Price anti right there. The Yoga upper leading to that level 1. If you want to deal out damage and dump it out, you need those specials to do so. And again, drive rush into the anti is Torimeshi, never in one place or space. You see that he adjusts himself to find the anti, and that's dangerous. If that jump fierce blesses that dome, it could be over for you. You might be seeing the pearly gates. Oh.
Yeah, not a lot of risk behind like the drill kick too from that space and that situation against the throw. It's been really, really well timed from Torimeshi and well thought out also.
Get in for a DP. There it is. Perfectly timed against that before that jump fierce even hit by a centimeter.
Oh yeah, he was up on the rooftops. He was like, go ahead, man. I got you locked in, and just snipes it out of the air.
Okay, burnout in play right here. Yoga Noogie. Ramashin? No, just meaty fireball. Doesn't have to. Very smart stuff here. One of the burnout Barons of burnout are definitely Sim. Puts in that corner position. Yoga Flame could definitely be a problematic thing to have to deal with. Mochi's almost back in business. Nice neutral jump. Does not want to go for that level 3 just yet. Believes.
With the back throw. He's not going to set up for anything yet. He is waiting for his opportune moment to get possibly a level 2, but if I were him, obviously level 3 would be the play. Oh, that could have been so bad. The punish counter is there. He gets a level 3 off of this, and that's going to be more than enough. Torimeshi biding his time to get the optimal situation to let a critical art rip. Are you kidding me? That is actually prime time gaming. Yo, Torimeshi, I see you.
Critical right there. But on the other side of things, I wish Mochi would have spent that bar. He didn't go for level 2 or level 3 to seal the deal, you know, stay in the game. Torimeshi, they mentioned how desperate this is. I think he's a liar. Man said he is not good in this position, but right now he is absolutely clutch.
Oh, and I love that sequencing too from Torimeshi. Get the back throw. He's chilling. He's going to be floating on back. He's floating on back, creating that space. Heavy punch does check 2 times over, but the second one blocked. Momochi not going to be able to get in for free, even if it's not damaged. It's at the cost of the drive gauge. And yeah, the ankle thrower sends him full screen, right? 2 different types of throws from Dhalsim allows him to do that.
And you get these like fantastic falls if you drive rush right after, but does not matter. Mochi puts him up in the corner, drives right to the corner. Wake up again with that dive kick situation to blow up these throws. Very smart stuff. The other characters might have to hold it. He does it in the jump fierce, stuffing and stopping Momochi from coming through. The calls on the drive rush, the dashes have been fantastic. And Torimeshi sits on set point with the Sim.
Man, I love this too, being able to halt his own momentum. Again, the ankle thrower from full screen also, being able to set up the Yoga Fire game, but this is really smart too. Now he gets to play a kind of like, oh man. I was gonna say a really tedious play style to play against, but the jumping fierce, that's the end all be all I feel like for jump-ins coming in from Luke, the level 2, doing decent damage. Just evening it out, actually.
Nice challenge right there with the 2 light punch. Crushing light punch again. This time the OD bar is spent. Fireball DP, of course. Momochi trying to get that neutral jump. Denied. Yoga upper applied. For the teleport. There it is. If you can get him in the yellow, it should be over. CA.
I think he's living by just a little bit. He does have the CA, but he might be living a little bit. The ab crunch 5,000? Yeah, not enough ab work yet.
Where's the chaser?
Boy.
Mochi's in burnout. This is bad. Yoga comment, and there's the anti-air right there. Torameshi. Again, it ain't no mystery if you study your history. This dude never sits in one spot. It's hard to pin him down. We've seen it time and time again. We even seen him do drive rush anti-air with the yoga upper, and he is so good about finding anti-airs, making the most out of burnout situations, and making the other player feel uncomfortable. It was just too much for Momochi to try to come through or cut through. And Torameshi had another game. That man's a liar. He said I wasn't good in the second position. I don't know, man. We got to call you out on that because that looked absolutely well sauced up with those sequences. That's 2 games now. That's 2.
No way. You mean to tell me the impossible is possible? All right. You mean to tell me that Nagoya Oja Body Star has a shot to get past the borderline? You mean to tell me Good 8 Squad might not make it this season of Street Fighter League, being the reigning champs? We'll find out, man. We're getting there closer and closer, one step at a time, one game at a time, one day at a time as well. So Nagoya Oja Body Star currently sitting at 110 points. If they win this anger match against Shinobism Gaming, obviously that is a huge win against a very, very talented team. But also, they'll be at 130 points. They'll have the 5-point lead against Good 8 Squad if they can manage to secure this last W. Now, there is another ruling that I actually kind of want to look into. What happens if Nagoya Oja Body Star happens to score just 25, perhaps, considering there is a possibility for the tiebreaker? Do they have to win all 40 points? I think that might just be a yes, but we will double check over time. We'll put it on Twitter or something like that. But for the most part, these are the stats that I've been looking forward to. 6 out of 11 anti-airs as Dalsim. We'll take that, especially against the fast and fierceness of the fierce. Dude, that's actually so difficult to contest against. Really, really well done from Torameshi.
Yeah, there was a point where he did drive rush anti-air perfectly spaced, you know, with that yoga upper. Like, things like that I want to see from sim players, like that active sort of anti-airs. If you don't think that you can catch them coming in with, like, you know, maybe like back heavy punch or whatever, drive rush, yoga upper, save the day, and led to some damage too as well. Didn't work out all the time as we saw, but definitely worked out enough to lock down Momochi and get these big leads to make them feel uncomfortable. Now, I feel like I haven't even looked at it yet. I feel like you sent up Akira to try to seal the deal. He is the captain. He has been getting clutcher and clutcher lately. You send him up. Of course. Who else could it be but Akira?
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you would send out Akira. There's no doubt about that. But Yamaguchi is like the ultimate test. I think he's gonna be the ultimate gatekeeper here, and I'm really looking forward to it too because his DJ has been looking phenomenal on CFN. He's been getting W after W after W, and it's been very fun overall to watch this man play. But it's so scary. Yeah, he's saying it right now. He didn't. I think he said this is a scary position. I think, or Yamaguchi is scary, or something along the lines of something scary, right? I think I heard him say it in Japanese.
I would be scared too. Yamaguchi, World Warrior champion, #2, bro. He said, isn't Street Fighter League 6 so fun? Man, isn't this so entertaining? I mean, for us commentating in the stands at home, for the fans at home, yeah, we're having a great time. But for Akira right now, I know my man is sweating. Yeah.
Sweating, brother. He is, and I don't blame him. I genuinely do not. I do not ever want to switch positions with any of these players. Because it's a problem, man. This is like, this is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. That's crazy. I faced Yamaguchi 2 years ago during the pro license test. That was what Akira had said. And man, another Hajime no Ippo reference, man. Facing off against Mashiba during like the pro license, or watching him against during like the pro license exam. It's actually kind of wild, man. Akira obviously saying he'll do everything to win. Yamaguchi has his own rebuttal, I'm sure, as we get that ready for you. But in the meantime, again, Nagoya Oja Body Star, what's on the line for them? They need to get this W, and they need it now.
Also settle for the 40 point for that baller. Can they do it though? Yamaguchi, you win such a big event like the World Warrior. You've showcased how strong you are. Looking at how he was, I mean, he's already showcased how strong he was through Street Fighter League. A surprise in terms of like who we thought was going to come through. Not like he was ever weak, but 4 out of 5 games that he has played, he has won, bro. He only lost to Moke. He beat John Takuchi, Storm Kubo. Yes, he lost to Moke, but then won against Ryusei, and then most recently Finn Rich. So that is a high stat right there. And Akira on his side of things has only won 2 games. You know, he lost to Tokido, won against Jazzy, then lost to Kazunoko, Shuto, Mago, John Takuchi, but recently has had a victory against the Evo champion that is Kawano. So if you're Akira, this is your time to lock in, right? This is your time, obviously, more than anything beyond just a 40-point ball or whatever. Really prove it for your team that you are the captain to lead them to victory. For Yamaguchi, it's continue that energy that you have had since World Warrior, since that victory over the best of the best in Japan, that you are at the top to even further prove yourself in Street Fighter League. Yamaguchi says, I have to win. I'm the one to make the team proceed to the second stage. I have to win. God, I love the energy out here at Street Fighter League.
No doubt. It's really no doubt, man. They have to have these W's to move on, right? And all things considered, right? Shinobism Gaming is in a pretty decent spot with 150 points. There aren't any other teams that could push them out of the point for second phase. But I totally understand like their plight, if you will. A lot of the players here, like, you know, we really need all these points. But in reality, they're big chillin'. They're already in. They're playing gatekeeper at this point against Nagoya Oja Body Star. But we'll see, man. We'll see whose will is stronger than the other. And that's actually one of the coolest points, man. I want to see what Akira has done to kind of like improve himself and show off the fruits of his labor, if you will, because he's been streaming a lot, showing off a lot of cami tech, a lot of specifics with the character. If you haven't followed him, I highly encourage you should. If you're a cami player, also you could follow Punk the God as well. They both have different types of looks in regards to how cami is played. But yeah, this is it right here, man. This is up to the team captain, Akira. Can he do it?
I just saw him post on Twitter. Thank you so much. I will do my best. Man already went to Twitter and said, listen, people, do or die, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to put my heart on the line. That's how he's always been, whether it be in the game or outside the game, always showcasing, you know, his feelings, but definitely wears his heart on his sleeve and has to write for his team. His team right now, it all comes down to this for him, you know, for his team. Like, that's a lot of weight, but he's been here. Maybe not always successful, but he has been here. That stress, you know, that pressure, it all leads up to this. Let's see if we can take down Yamaguchi. Will he be the hero, or will, God willing, Yamaguchi be the villain?
We'll see. Here we go. It's the anchor match. Game 1. Akira already testing the waters a little bit. The low forward to kind of stop Yamaguchi from doing anything kind of wonky. But yeah, the low forward still connects again, but nothing out of it. There it is. The confirm that he was looking for. And you know, he's been doing a lot of countermeasures to stop the initial drive rush against Yamaguchi thus far, and already pushing him to the corner just at the edge of it. Look at the amount of damage, but more so, look at him go to work like his life depended on it. Well, guess what? His tournament life, it definitely does. Yamaguchi getting absolutely mauled by Akira round 1.
Expeditiously getting Grizzly up in the corner. That's what you like to see from the likes of Akira. And also Cam, you know, that strike throw, getting opened up, continuously up in the corner, the whip punishes, and the confirms, the drive rush confirms, I should say, on that crouching knee kick for that corner carry. Yamaguchi on the back foot, drive reverse, faded, -8. So we start with that crouch fierce. Ends it with the DP.
That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage for a punish counter, man. Like, DJ coming in with the crouching heavy punish, that's kind of disgusting. I'm actually very surprised. I'm very surprised that hits. Oh boy.
Kill that drive gauge. Put him in the corner. Some space, but for how long? He's back in with the drive rush. Let's begin that quarter session. Akira already clapping, dog. He's like, yeah, this is doable. He feels that energy. This is doable. I can win. And honestly, the cost of the fireballs, the fact that his conversions have been a lot more tighter than what we've seen as the league has gone on, is a good sign.
Yeah. No, I agree. He never needed the costume after all. He doesn't need Christmas Cammy. It was just a placebo effect.
It's all within him.
That's a good call out. That's a good call out against the Sobot. Really, really smart choice. And also getting the perfect parry. Yes, sir! stopping the jump backs in general with the uppercut. That's what I love seeing from characters that do have those uppercuts. Don't let them jump. Level 1. Yeah, we'll absolutely take that. We're going to build up that meter anyway. Forward throw again. Watch out for the drive impact. He might try to sneak one in there, but Yamaguchi, he's already fallen for that already. He could throw him to death. He's going to go for 2 more. He's going to go for another one. He's going to do it, right?
Oh,
You
he something,
are
but he said, there you go.
Devil. You are the devil.
Bro, he said, I'm going to land this last throw, bro. It doesn't matter how it's going to happen. Baits out the ODDP for free. Perfectly done. Strike throw. Akira takes his turn. This man, again, with this team riding on him in that strike throw session. Here's the level 3, though. Yamaguchi riding it back. Damage. From the back and from the front. Taking the brunt of all this, level 3. Rushing with the light.
Pretty expensive.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Oh, boy. That's the bust out that Akira needed to. Back towards the corner. The drive rush is there. He's got more than enough damage. More than enough life. Or sorry, meter in the tank. Yeah, he got it. Nice and easy. Yamaguchi at least tying it up in game 2. Between the rounds, I should say. The forward throw now. Akira getting real aggressive. And he's telling him to tone it down. Yamaguchi with the rebuttal.
Give him a noise complaint. It's a throw up in the corner. Once again, now switching up the buttons and nice. Perfectly done. Anti-air. Oh, the side switch from the back door. What? The mix off the hooligan? Oh my God, caught him lacking. Let's get cracking. Break the neck in Akira on game point against Yamaguchi.
That's the best time to throw in that look. That is the absolute best time to throw in the OD spin knuckle to catch your opponent off guard. That is some save it for nationals type mentality. And that was beautiful. If he catches him again, I will be very, very surprised because most people only get hit by that, only get got by that one time. I hope it wasn't too early. You know what I mean? It's not like a too soon junior type deal. But we'll see. We'll see. We're going back into like the character select, or at least the main menu, to kind of give these players some time. Yamaguchi might be consulting with his teammates to figure out what needs to be done as well.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a matter of like wait for that charge, wait for those like those dive kicks, those jump ins that we've seen up in the corner continuously, or just in general because that's just Cammy, and then you just hit with the spin knuckle from the side switch. But I agree. I feel like that should have been something that we see as like a closer for like the last game. I hope we see more tricks with it from the side of Akira. If you can keep up that momentum, because there were some great moments from Yamaguchi. How he's converting off a drive rush light punch has been fantastic in terms of dealing out the maximum amount of damage if need be, and the switch ups too as well. But never mind, Akira stays fine, not holding for these feints at all. Oh, what a punish counter.
I wish you could do more. I wish you could do more off that punish counter, the standing heavy kick, other than just like knocking the opponent back. Like able to get maybe like a juggle perhaps, but maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe I'm a lunatic, Senkola, but I will say this. Akira doing a fantastic job of locking down Yamaguchi thus far and attacking the drive gauge. We haven't seen a lot of drive rushes from the side of Yamaguchi. I think it's for that very reason, because he's been on the defensive end so far. There we go. We let one ring out. One shot ring out.
Why is the ODTK dive kick in play and the side switch? There's the crouching medium punch. Snuck in, delays the button, but does other damage. Yeah, greatest of Sobots to stave off set point. Yamaguchi switching up. I feel like drive rush we saw a little bit too often from Yamaguchi, and it did land quite a bit, but now he's sticking in so consistently, you know, every so often. Maybe now a little bit too consistently. It's actually working out. Back to mid-screen. Pushing light kick. Nothing after that counter hit, though.
The backdash, yeah, to get away from the throw. OD jackknife, get off of me, Yamaguchi. Okay, that's gonna be pretty expensive, but I think I'm not too sure actually. That's not gonna give him the life advantage.
Yeah, I like that from Yamaguchi. That defense, just for the backdash immediately. Outside that distance, challenging the drive rush with the crouching light punch. They should be able to finish this. No, he didn't have the bar, but still baits a little bit. ODDP did not work out. Akira with the grimace, but yeah, that level 3 kind of spent a little bit early, I feel like.
Yeah, I get it. Like, he wanted to get a bust out. He wanted to try to attack on drive gauge, but that wasn't going to be enough, right? Yamaguchi also is after the level 3's animation is over with, there's still like a sizable amount of distance that Akira needs to kind of like traverse in order to actually apply pressure. Yamaguchi wasn't gonna let him have that, right? But it was also really kind of cheeky for Yamaguchi to kind of just wait and bait the uppercut, knowing full well that Akira was gonna be mashing. I wonder if that's like any sort of like mental damage done against like Akira to kind of make him think it's like, all right, well, going into this next match, I'm gonna keep playing situations where I can steal turns over and over again so that you're not mashing out DP because of what I just did to you. I hope it's not like a warning, like a warning shot from Yamaguchi where Akira is deterred from throwing out any sort of OD uppercuts anymore. So we'll see. We'll see if that actually did any sort of mental damage as we get into the next game, game 4 between these two.
Oh, too far for the anti right there. Fantastic push here from Akira for him to be ready for that. Lands the DP to put him in the corner. It's that crouching medium punch, too far out. And again, drive rushing in, caught the Sobot out. I like the fact that Akira's so ready for any of these mistakes that happen from the side of Yamaguchi. Strike throw, goes for the low, blocks it up, puts a parry in there too as well.
Oh, that was so
slick.
slick.
Charge up. He's so nasty. Akira.
That was the most DiCapri thing I've ever seen. We're looking at match point now, by the way. Oh. No! The big bust out. And the big punish too, Yamaguchi. Let's see if he has the rhythm. He doesn't! Oh, man. Lock him up. Put him in DJ jail.
DP. Yamaguchi looking to finish this though. These jump ins. Spin knuckle. I like that the neutrals that we see spin knuckle sprinkled in every so often. Very smart to stuff that out. And Yamaguchi just pushing back set for a little bit longer, getting a little bit more aggressive with these drive rush. Medium punch does not get the crushing medium punch. Oh no, level 3. One way to stop that drive rush in. And also, I don't feel like this one is super bad because you could back yourself up with that drive gauge. You get the back throw though. Is he hunting for that? No. Back yourself in the corner.
That uppercut hit at the last second. That was crazy. Oh, the drive rush again. Akira cannot find a consistent stop to it in comparison to how he did in game 1. Damn, that was also a very deep dive kick forward throw again. Get the dash up forward.
Your game to win. Your game to win. Dot kick, light kick, counter hit. This should be it. Level 1 gets it done in Akira. Along with the Goya Oja Body Star, still has a chance. Vicious, another, you know what I mean? Another 40 baller out here at Street Fighter League Japan. Can you believe it? Damn.
What else can you really say? A magnificent rebuttal from the Goya Oja Body Star. Not just today, but the entirety of phase 1. Ladies and gentlemen, 130 points for the team that was staring at the barrel of elimination in 8th place. Now propelling themselves above Good 8 squad by 5 points. They are currently in the number 6 position to possibly make it out, dethroning the former champs of Street Fighter League. Akira with a huge smile on his face. Now, talk to me a little bit about that last segment. Yamaguchi, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like he tried to backdash again after the standing jab, hence why he got hit with the standing short, right?
Yeah, it felt like it, because we've seen backdash continuously from Yamaguchi, especially in like the 2nd to 3rd games. We've seen a lot of backdash out of pressure, whether it be like after like, you know, level 3 and he goes for like the meaty, you know, spiral arrow and things like that. We've seen backdash out of some like the lights and things like that, but that kept getting read more and more often, and it feels like even like drive rush just in general was also to capitalize on those backdashes, which is big because Yamaguchi, as we have noted, has had some of the best defense in the business when it came to 5 and Street Fighter 6, which is what has helped him lead to victory and let him set up for, you know, his W's and find the right spacing and things like that. Also the timing, you know, to drive rush against like some of these whip buttons, to wait for anything to whip. Like he sees movement, drive rushes in for a fantastic punish. For Akira to be ready for those mistakes and make the most of it is fantastic from him. We saw like the whip DP. That was a weird, wonky interaction, but for Akira to be like, all right, I'm ready. I see him up in the air. I'm going to catch him on the way down and put him in the ground. that just to me shows like that hyper focus that you have to have as a pro player.
Yeah, and also catching a lot of the whiff normals grounded too. I think in the games 1 and 2, he was able to drive rush forward and get these big punish counters against some of the whiff normals that Yamaguchi had thrown out. There was like a roundhouse that was thrown out. I think there was like a medium kick that was thrown out, and immediately after, like a speeding train, man, this guy Akira swoops on in with the drive rush punish counter. So really, really good attention to what Yamaguchi wanted to do in neutral, but overall, like the adaptation that he made game after game after game was really, really well thought out, right? He found the answer to like whatever it is that was plaguing him or giving him a lot of problems throughout the rebuttals of like Yamaguchi getting some of these games. Like for example, a really basic one, right? Backdash, right? You see how many times Akira had scored a lot of these throws. We're gonna see it in the stats eventually. You see how many times he scored some of these throws, so you know it's natural for Yamaguchi to get these backdashes going. But as soon as he recognized that pattern, that defensive pattern, him capitalizing it and also make it like the match-winning strategy to stop the backdash, that was really well played, man.
Hella smart stuff. Even like the clean too as well. He dropped the combo. It was like a 2-piece and then kind of dropped that. Dash in to get that W. Also his positioning throughout that entire match, because Cammy's drive rush distance, maybe not as like far as like DJ or whatever, right? But to be in that right range to like wait for something to whip and know that you're not going to be wasting your gauge continuously, that may have been a problem for Akira, like, you know, eons ago, or, you know, where he kind of like breaks down after he whips a DP or whatever. He loses that momentum. He's not able to grasp it or gain it. Not anymore. This is the Akira that you want to see. This is the max amount of Akira right here. The wild child himself coming through and getting that victory. Looking back at the interviews here, Oniki says, our chance of going to second stage depends on each game. This is so exciting. KB says he thanks the team actually for getting 40 points. It was great that we are able to make this league so thrilling. They definitely made it a very thrilling league, and this has been a thrilling match. A 40-baller of all things too as well. Torimeshi said, I really wanted to not face Momochi's loop. Thank God I won. So he knows the power of Momochi, man. He was like, bro, thank God I won.
Yeah, and Momochi was upset, like not visibly shaken, but just in reference towards his last interview, is like, we weren't able to score those 10 points. I'm upset. I'm gonna be doing the best that I can, right? He said we need 10 points, but we lost, and I'm not in a good mood, is what he said specifically, verbatim. Not in a good mood. I will stop it here. So yeah, I don't blame Torimeshi to fear one of the fighting game gods, but overcoming his fear the way that he did, surpassing the loop with the ever evasive Dalsim, really well played from Torimeshi. Akira, with his final thoughts, I can't explain this feeling. I was thinking of this game all along, and I was able to smile from the first round up until the end, which is pretty important, right? You got to be feeling yourself if you want to keep on progressing and getting some of these very important wins, especially in like clutch factors like this too. So big ups to Akira and the rest of the team, really playing their hearts out, and it was pretty close. You know, KB winning 2-1. Akira, he could have let it slip. He could have let it slip away. It could have gone a little bit closer if he misstepped a little bit, because with Cammy, I feel like you have to really stay on point to find success, and that's difficult in this game.
It is hard, but like, you are rewarded if you are able to. And that's been a problem with Akira. You know, we talked about this. Like, there's some moments where he just breaks down. He can't get it back. Can't get that same sort of feeling back. But today he definitely did so. And again, I think he really studied Yamaguchi's like defensive tendencies to go for those about 4 or 5 throws in the corner, and then do the jump over to call out the ODDP and then the dash up throw. That takes study of how the opponent wants to play and their tendencies. And Yamaguchi having such good defenses overall, and also catching the backdashes we talked about. And noticing that during the match takes quite a bit of study. I feel like he's not just playing that one-player game. He's definitely recognizing what the opponent wants to do, blowing up those tendencies, reeling it back when need be with those ODDPs. Yeah, we saw 2 of them not really work out, but, you know, not staying down and being like, okay, those 2 DDPs did not work out. I'm not going to be aggressive anymore. I'm going to just be pensive. Like, I really like that from Akira. Like, that's the play I want to see from him. He said, I wasn't able to win in a while. I think I was able to win this game. He really appreciates the fans. I know his Twitch after this is going to go dummy. It's just going to be him receiving bits after bits after bits and subs, because afterwards, win or lose, my man boots up the stream and discusses. He puts his heart on the line, and I definitely suggest y'all go and, you know, give him congratulations when he does boot up the stream.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there. I will definitely throw my flowers to all the winners of today's matches, right? DetonatioN, FocusMe, also Nagoya Oja Body Star. Well-deserved W's for their performance here in Street Fighter League during the first half. And it's only the first half, can you believe it? We still have another half to play through with our top 6 teams, but it's not even close to done yet. Not only do we have another day of play, but we also have one more matchup for specifically today. GyoGun versus Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto is going to be coming up after this. In the meantime, obviously, we got to go through some of these ads and also talk about some of these stats, right? This is the stat that I was looking for. 4 out of 13 tech throws from the side of Yamaguchi. That is a lot of damage and a lot of options, or a lot of time for Cammy to set up her offense, especially in a corner scenario. The anti-airs, very much so well on point. 3 out of 4 from the side of Akira. 2 out of 8 from Yamaguchi. A little bit difficult if you're not maintaining your charge, but also at the same time, against dive kicks, it's very, very difficult. OD reversals, 2 out of 4. We love that. We love that for Akira and Cammy players. However, 0 out of 6, that's fine. Against DJ, 0 for 6. You don't want to take the meaty. You don't want to take the frame trap. I totally get it, bro. But the one drive pack to rule them all. The one sneaky one in game 1. That's all he needed. That's all he needed.
Yeah, overall fantastic stats, you know, like those throws definitely led up to a lot. I feel like those throws, especially in a longer set, lead up to like what your intentions want to be up in the corner too as well, and like breaking down that wall of defense that Yamaguchi has. And again, we talk about, you know, these players, you know, their defensive tactics and things like that, their tendencies and how the other players are working around that. That's just the beauty of fighting games. 40 points on the side of Oja Body Star. Definitely at the stars right now of today. 40 against 0 against Shinobism Gaming. You look at the pedigree, you see like the people that are on that team, Fujimura, Momochi, the likes of those cats on there, and getting 40 points against them is absolutely insane. But you know what's also insane is the fact that you pointed this out already, GyoGun going up against Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. And what's crazy is that I don't know if anyone's going to be playing this character when it comes to League. I think that she's going to be very complicated. I'd be very hard pressed to see somebody maybe pick up this character for League. Maybe I'll be wrong. But I'd like to see her being played. To be honest, I'd like to see somebody. I don't know who. I'd like to see someone pick up this character.
Yeah, I don't remember who our Fong players were in Street Fighter League Japan, but at least in Europe, we would actually have a shot at seeing some of the Fong players. Maybe, depending on who we invite back for Street Fighter League US, we might also get some Fong players as well. But for the most part, I don't think she's gonna play. I'm gonna be real with you, man. I don't think she's gonna play anywhere near the way that Fong played. No spoilers, but I mean, just looking at the trailer itself, I feel like she's an entirely different character, right? I think she'll have the same mechanics in regards to like how the poison works, but other than that, I think she's her own character.
Which is great though. I mean, like, let her be her own thing, you know. We don't need any more years of Fong. We need to complain about more years of Aki, which we'll see. I mean, she looks like she's really cool anti-air, so specials look super sick, and the whole poison mechanic looks super dope too as well. I heard people complaining that she doesn't really kill like drive gauge. I'm so happy that doesn't happen. Maybe we'll see all of that breakdown happen at the Tokyo Game Show. I know there'll be a tournament done by Crazy Raccoon for Street Fighter 6. I think Dogra and some other folk are going to be out there too as well. I don't know if they're doing commentary or if they're playing or both, but you know what's going to be happening during the Tokyo Game Show. I guess if you're out there, you have those tickets, you'll be able to participate. I wish I could participate, at least going out there and seeing all the great action, and of course seeing Dragon's Dogma in person. But I'll just watch the stuff with all y'all on the 21st, so we'll just watch that together.
Yeah, no doubt. I would love to kind of just like hang out with everybody else as Tokyo Game Show is happening during like the crazy hours of the night. I would love to boot up a stream and get in a Discord call with everybody to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2, man. It's been too long. It's crazy. I still have my copy sitting in storage, collecting dust. I might brush it off and be like, yo, I'm down to play it again. But this is a crazy time right now, just for gaming in general, man. There's so many cool titles. Other than just like Street Fighter 6, there's so many like cool things happening in the world of gaming that it's phenomenal. So be sure to check it out. TGS 2023 with the Capcom online program happening on the 21st through the 23rd to get all the latest and greatest news in regards to everything that Capcom has been doing. So again, be sure to participate with that. Watch some of the streams, check it out with some of your favorite streamers as well. I'm sure either one of us here will be doing the same thing. But yeah, there it is, man. We have GyoGun versus Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto. Yo, St. Cola, tell me about it before we send him off to a break.
GyoGun sits in the top spot. First place of all things for maybe the first time. Saishunkan Kumamoto are right behind, only 15 points away. We're going to find out after this break who will be that top spot, at least for now. And it might be a banger of a match. I like to. It's definitely going to be a banger of a match as the GyoGun travels. Impacts people do not want to miss this upcoming action. Don't go anywhere.
第三者による本大会の模様や本大会の対戦リプレイ映像のアップロードはお控えください。この後は試合準備のため休憩に入らせていただきます。21時15分からは第11節マッチ3魚群対最瞬間ソル熊本の模様をお届けしてまいります。それでは一旦失礼します。
じゃ早速始めるか。よしやるか。いい戦いになりそうだ。実践的なのがいいんだよな。実践ってのもいろいろだが、この街で始めるならストリートからだ。
Back with the final match of the night, it's time for GyoGun to go up against Saishunkan Kumamoto. This match is going to be a banger. GyoGun sits at the top spot with 185 points, going up against Saishunkan Kumamoto with 170. Let's take a look at the School of Fish, and who leads the pack. It's the Prince of Rapids himself, always swimming upstream and mean with that Kami. It's going to be Mizuha. Then after that, it's going to be the hero of Sunrise himself, shining with that Chun-Li play today. It's going to be Moke. Right after that, of course, it's Mr. Optimal. Shout out to IMCX. Shout out to Machopo on that fantastic kin, looking ever so optimal day after day. And after that, the most 2D god, September empowered Mago coming through to not get cooked up by Saishunkan Kumamoto. And they're doing a good job not getting cooked up by anybody because they sit at the top spot, first place in the leaderboards right now.
Jeez, Mago and that look, man. Let's take a look at Saishunkan Kumamoto coming in hot. Sasamo, of course, the sunlit rising star. I love the energy that he brings for this intro every single time with that DJ as well. The Prodigy, though, you're running out of time, player. Higuchi coming in with that Guile, one of the best Guile players that we've seen to date. And the little devil himself, well, modern man with Marisa. This guy, Shuto, he's a menace, but not as much as this guy, the Brute King himself, Nemo, with the ever impressive JP. And these guys are such a pleasure to watch, man. Like, as players and professionals, professionals and entertainers, I should say, they're so fun to watch. So easily one of my favorite teams. Both of these teams honestly are my favorite to watch, so this is going to be a heartbreaker. But in all seriousness, this match is to essentially determine seeding, if I'm not mistaken, right? Other teams that are kind of tied within the realm of getting first place are Cyclops as well as FAV Gaming. But those two only have one more game left to play, and that's going to be next week. But Saishunkan Kumamoto, they actually have another game to play. They're going to be playing next week as well. So I think Saishunkan Kumamoto technically has the most potential to pull off the first place lead, which is unprecedented, by the way. That is something we haven't seen since they've been fighting in Street Fighter League.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that hasn't really happened for both teams in terms of being in this top spot. Saishunkan Kumamoto possibly being in that first place. Even second, I feel like was kind of rare for them in the previous league. GyoGun, I don't recall them surpassing third at all. Maybe they grazed it a couple of times. For them to be up in this top spot definitely shows that their work ethic has gotten better. Their strategy has gotten better. I feel like even in this first season where you're kind of doing up these blind picks, it's already kind of hard to figure out where to place these players and stuff like that. You're having to make these big calls. And even this is a big call right here. Mago going up first with his jury, and now has to fight Guile, which I feel like Guile players don't mind this matchup at all. The Sonic Boom stuffing and stopping the Fuha charges and things like that, especially the OD booms as well. And then the fact that Fireball is on the ground that starts the party up for jury doesn't really matter to Guile. He's like, I'll just slow up my Sonic Booms and stop you from approaching in the first place. So this might be kind of difficult, but I don't mind her normals up in this matchup overall. That's some good whip punch normals, and of course, if you drive rush in with that medium punch, it's plus Frame City. So we'll have to see what Mago's been cooking up on the jury. We haven't seen this character from him in a bit. It's been candy for the past couple of games, I feel.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Looking at Section 9, when they played off, Mago had gone 0-2 against John Takeuchi. It actually faced off against Fudo in the sudden death match where he actually got his W. Overall, he's been 3 out of 6 in terms of his record, but I think you're right. It's been pretty back and forth between utilizing Jori and Kami, and I'm thinking to myself, like, wouldn't you want to, I guess, more or less use Kami against Guile in this matchup, perhaps a little bit more? I'm not sure. Like, I think Juri does a pretty decent job, like mid-range, being able to stuff out like booms preemptively and control that mid-space. But Juri also has a dive kick as well from further distances to keep it kind of consistent from like the ranges where Guile wants to throw the booms. So I kind of get the idea for Mago utilizing Jury because you get a little bit more coverage against the booms from further distances, right, in comparison to Cammy. But Cammy also has spin knuckle, right? If you're not looking for a way in above over the boom, you can go right through it. So that's tough. Two different looks.
Yeah, I feel like Cammy would be a better option, especially when I've seen this matchup throughout, you know, the Street Fighters in general. Like, it feels like Cammy's a better option because even the presence of spin knuckle denies them from wanting to throw out booms as comfortably. And the dive kick, yeah, Jury does have that, but it's at mid-range, it's not as strong as like that mix-up tool that Cammy has, the inherent mix-up tool where it's like, am I going to neutral jump? Am I going to the forward jump fierce, empty jump low? You know, obviously Gal has fantastic anti-airs and you can choose the right ones to get it done, but you have that variance to really make them rethink what they're going to do for anti-airs, the spin knuckle to make them rethink the sonic booms. What's left are the fantastic normals, but you need the other options to really capitalize. He could switch if need be. Let's see if that even needs to happen. Higuchi with the perfect record. It's already been looking golden. It starts off golden with the OD Sonic Boom to get the knockdown.
Pay is there. Mago has been practicing that, right? Any sort of drive rush attempts towards him. You saw Higuchi actually try to attempt it back. That strategy backfires, gets a punish counter on it. Now Mago hunting him down, making him pay the hefty fee for jumping out of the corner. But man, Higuchi completely undeterred, setting up the Sonic Blade to create some space against Mago. Now trying to do work against the drive gauge, but it's Mago throwing in a bunch of these parries as good looks on defense.
We see like drive rush throw to bait that out. Empty throw could be also an option for a medium kick. Nice counter hit combo. The Sobot, meaty fireball. No Sonic Blade just yet. There's the OD one, trying to get that overhead. He's out of there. He aware. Immediately goes for the dive kick, and Hao has that space to play with. But Gao commands so much of the screen. Oh no.
You are a sneaky man. You are actually the devil for that one. You barely had enough drive gauge left, and Higuchi, as soon as he got hit with it, he shook his head. You actually could have seen it in the camera. He's like, oh, come on, man.
Really? You do that to me? Whatever it takes, man. It's 2D God. So I get the victory. Oh, here we go.
My
carry,
God!
level 1. What a sequence.
punish!
Now sending out the... Man, and this... Look at that. Puts him in burnout. And Gao loves to put people in burnout.
Oh, he's got a little bit more in the tank to extend the combo. Yeah, but it's going to be so much scaling involved. Can he build the level 1 in time? He can. Oh! Oh, that's fine. That's fine for Higuchi. Yeah, not even wanting to spend the level 1. He's like, no, I got it. I got it perfect. Don't worry about it. You can get the next one. You'll get the next tab. I got it this time.
Goes through the OD Sonic Boom knockdown once again. Sets up the Blade 2 as well. So many different looks too as well when it comes to the zoning. Drive rush, anti right there. It's like the Sonic Booms just set up shop to just deter you from anywhere you are on the screen. Drive rush in, tries to be out on ODDP. Nothing doing though. Mago able to strike back with that level 2. Corner carry safe for setup, maybe. Oh, he wants that corner carry. I like that. Not a bad option right there.
Does find the punish counter against the Feng Shui, which is kind of great, right? Oh man, yeah, you're trying to jump over the Sonic Boom. Have you not faced off against the guy the last 25 years, man? He already had that down pat. So this is gonna be so important. Yeah, he does nail the drive gauge. Yes, sir. The drive impact as well. The objective was burnout, right? That was all it was on Higuchi's mind was, let's get this attack on drive gauge going. Does succeed, and also getting the drive impact as well, knowing full well that Mago was going to try to swing for the fences to stop Higuchi from moving forward. That was actually really well done. Higuchi, despite the efforts from Mago sneaking in the drive impact from round 1, Higuchi making the fine rebuttal. And Mago, in his interview, he was shaking in his boots. He was stuttering and slipping, man. But all jokes aside, he's looking pretty determined to try to get it back. He's looking a little perplexed as well. I think Higuchi giving him all the right looks to make him feel that way.
I mean, Higuchi said, I'm gonna have fun with this match. I'm sure he looked at Jury and he was like, yeah, all right, no Cammy? Perfect. But I wonder if this is the switch. I wonder if that elicits a switch at this point here from Mago. I feel like, again, denying that Sonic Boom pressure that rules so much of the screen alongside Drive Rush. We saw like Sonic Boom trying to jump, Drive Rush, anti, or crouch fierce, or stand medium kick, or any of those like fantastic buttons that don't lead into too much so far, but it all adds up and just frustrates you. Having that spin knuckle option, even if it's just hasn't been even shown yet, just the idea of it is enough to make them rethink their sonic boom placement and, you know, how they're going to throw out the booms, the pace, the spacing, and things like that. I hope we see a switch up here.
We do. We see Cammy on our screen already.
Oh.
So it's going to be the big switch.
All right.
Mago coming in with the adjustments, hopefully. There it is. Yeah, the punish counter against the booms. Just a little bit misplaced from the side of Higuchi.
Meaty crouch fears. We in. DP situation. Spinning bar doesn't really need to. Throw. One more throw will do it. And it's another throw for the perfect KO. This should have been the play, but again, I wonder if they just didn't know the order that was going to come up. So Mago having to go for the switch still makes the magic happen.
That's fair. That is a fair assessment. Yeah, not knowing who's going to be coming up is one of the big problems too that a lot of these teams have to face, but having two strong characters in your arsenal is more than enough to combat any sort of situation. But now it's Higuchi taking on all approaches. A little reluctant to throw the fireballs, but this exact range, Guile can start swinging away at Cammy.
And I'm closing the OD real quick with it too as well in that close range. Drive rush, anti-air, go low this time. Saw the parry, got the back throw punish counter too as well. Mago on the verge of level 3. There it is. Oh, that's a punish right there. To that full screen, no drive rush crouch feet. This is fantastic though. Higuchi has the lead.
Man, 2 back-to-back techs. Higuchi already primed and ready with the defensive aspect against Cammy, getting rid of all the throws, but now critical art is going to be a huge deal. If Mago lands a single hit confirm and drive rushes afterwards, he's got it. But the solid puncher. Okay, he's forcing the burnout. He's forcing the burnout.
It's an impact. Why did he press a button? No, the impact lands.
That could have been it for actually, that could have been Mago's game. That was a cancelable normal from Mago.
Yeah. Oh, he went right to super against it. And you see Higuchi kind of shook his head. That could have been problematic. You're right. He could have went right to level 3. Let's clean it up.
Not gonna spend it. He wants it for the kill. Don't let it be this way. Mago, don't hold on to all your meter at the very end. Yeah, gets the jump in. The level 3 to seal it. Yes, sir. Tied up one apiece with a very, very commanding swing from Mago with a perfect and a critical art. You see it on the top left. Right there, the SAP. Oh, they didn't show it? Boo. But yeah, I love the little words that come together after getting certain W's stringed in. So super art plus the perfect. You already know Mago feeling real confident about this matchup.
And now he's able to switch. He's like, okay, I'm with it now. But also, I feel like, you know, like the upside down kick that you like to utilize against like crouching medium kick from Jury that we saw from the side of Higuchi is now getting stopped and stopped with like neutral jump, light kick, jump over light kick, dive kick, things like that. You know, those things are getting, you know, counteracted. And Higuchi has went to that well too often. It's led to his demise a few times. So he has to really think about like his button placements now, not only just the sonic booms, but like what buttons he's spinning in the neutral. And all those could be whip punch. Even crouching medium kick is a dangerous button to put out against the likes of Cammy. That's a crouching medium kick into corner carry into to something real bad against the likes of Gal. So we'll see what happens here. Of course, you know, the Cammy was the play the entire time. But I like that we see the strategy here from Mago either way.
I agree wholeheartedly, actually. This switch up between Cammy and Jury was so well thought out too. I mean, like, he had to do it. He had to do it, no other choice.
Oh, dang, that was close range with it too.
Man, ready for the flash kick. Man, and also ready for the uppercut. This guy Higuchi is playing like an old man. He's a veteran.
Been here before. Upside down kick, careful. Does it again? Yo, Higuchi, man, he's his own cat when it comes to Guile. You say you have to get ready for Higuchi more than you have to get ready for Guile. So different with it. There's a sweep with punish though. Side switch, empty low too as well. Mago opens those holes up.
That was shades of Punk, if you ask me. That sweep definitely reminded me of his gameplay. Man, that drive reversal was so beneficial for Mago, but no response, of course, against the drive impact while he's in burnout. Not even gonna try to super through. Oh my God! If you miss time That spin knuckle, you are eating boots to the chin. That is disgusting. Higuchi, looking at match point. Block on the overhead, excellent from Mago.
Wow, now striking back against the crouching unit kick of the side of Mago and getting a punch counter, flash kick, full screen, and content to throw out the buffet of booms. Mago, time to get on the diet, my guy. Sticks in the crouching meeting kick, gets that corner karaoke time. Flash in for that crouching Pierce. Backs up, caught him with a button. Level 3 is on the other side here. You need it, to be honest.
Oh my God. He waited forever and a day, a slight head tilt from Higuchi. He's like, all right, you got me. You got me. I tried to get away with it. I tried to halt your momentum. I wasn't, I didn't recognize your game.
Ball game final round right now. Good throw though from Mago, looking for something on that wake up with the stand heavy kick. You'd love to have a punish counter, that corner carry. We'll flip the Tosco. The dive kick coming through. I feel like that's preemptive. Like if he wants a counter poke with crouching meeting kick, but like look at how much you get off of those dive kicks just in general. Dang, 2-4 off of the throw. When you grabbing your demons. Yeah, level 3. Killer B. The Sting reigns supreme out here. Mago.
Ugh. Yeah, that's a very common tactic, right? Starting things off with that dive kick, being able to counterpoke with that exact option in mind of making the opponent think it's going to be a low forward, it's going to be a medium range button. Yeah, no, like that dive kick hitting at the shins. I was just surprised at how deep that hit, actually. It hit like the ankle of Guile, and you are like plus $1.5 million. You've won the plus frame lottery at that point, being able to hit that deep in. So, or I guess, yeah, from that range it's got to be like so plus. So that was actually very, very impressive. Yeah, Mago utilizing the dive kick again. It's a very common tactic, right, for Camis to kind of utilize a dive kick as a countermeasure towards like the medium ranges, but to hit at that angle to extend afterwards, I'm like, dude, you are in trouble. You are actually gonna get smoked. That is the optimal range right there. So Mago, you goober. Jeez, the amount of damage too afterwards, getting the W. This is super impressive, man. His switch up between Jury to Cammy, well worth it.
100%. Glad that he was able to do so, and you see the game plan definitely was in mind more for the Cammy. Again, dealing with those upside down kicks that were coming through, even the Sobats with that jump light kick. We saw, maybe waiting to get like a drive impact, or even the idea of a drive impact, maybe pushing Higuchi to not utilize those options as much. And those dive kicks, the fact that you get so much off of those, looking out for those opportunities, fantastic from the side of Mago, and obviously the shimmy game on point. But one of the things I definitely want to note is that, Cammy, her anti-airing her is difficult. It's going to be hard. But Gal has so many ways to do so. 50% is pretty good, but it's also leads to quite a bit for Cammy. She gets a jump in, that's corner carry. That's damage, as we've seen with the dive kicks. That leads into level 3s, and that leads into so much right there. On the other hand, the DPs were perfect from the side of Mago. Not only with the Cammy, but also we saw the Jury. He was able to catch him, leaving the corner continuously. And Higuchi took a lot of throws, which you will when you fight Cammy, but that all adds up to a shimmy game that leads into opening them up when they go for the tech finally, as we saw at the very end. So first win for the side of GyoGun, still keeping their lead.
Not bad. Not bad at all. GyoGun being able to establish dominance this early in the game just makes me feel like there's a lot of hope for them in the second half, because Lord knows both of these teams technically they need it with the way that they've been performing these last couple of seasons in Street Fighter League. They've been putting out all the efforts to get as far as they could in playoffs. So it's been a very, very fun story to watch for a lot of these teams. And now again, we got a pretty hefty matchup for our very eyes. Moke versus Namo. Battle of the 4 letters. Chun-Li versus JP though. A whole different story, right? I think Chun-Li does a pretty decent job of trying to get around whatever it is that JP can do. We've talked about this before like a bunch of times over. And Moke is definitely the cat to be aware of everything that JP can do with projectiles. He can launch you over, apply pressure also against Amnesia pretty decently. We'll see if that's going to come to fruition.
I mean, him being the full package definitely helps out. I feel like in a matchup where you have to deal with this character that is a zoner, It's a damage dealer. It's great on defense, you know what I'm saying? But we see Moke rise to the occasion. He had a horrible start. He had 3 losses in a row against Goichi, Gachikun, and Storm Kubo, but then one against Yamaguchi, then one against Torameshi, then one against Itabashi Zangief, then one against Sako in the mirror match, who was his training partner. And it's always been kind of feeling different. I forgot who it was. Oh, it was Itabashi that he was saying, "Who are you?" Moke definitely on some demon time right now, definitely running different. Sada Nemo, though, look at his stats. He's 3 out of 6 so far. He lost to Fujimura, one against Naomin, Torameshi, Goichi, but then lost in that mirror match against Aqua, and then, of course, lost against Jazzy. So we'll see what happens here in this match. It looks like so far, Moke says, when I saw the introduction, I saw Nemo yawning. Such a terrible man. You saw someone yawning last year. I don't know that guy. Moke. He's demon.
それでは選手は試合準備のためラグチェックの作業に入っていただきます。
Everybody has some sort of gripe against Nemo, I feel like. But the way that he handles it afterwards is actually so funny. I love the little interactions. It's like getting like character interactions in a fighting game. You get like character specific interactions and intros and openers, right? I feel like that's the way with like Nemo against like a handful of the players here at Street Fighter League. Like, no matter who he faces off against, there's always some sort of weird dialogue that is brought up because he's on the he's in the hot seat, right? But Nemo, I already know he's about to fire back. So his rebuttal is, I don't know anything about yawning, but looking at the results at Evo, that's all I gotta say. What a man. There's obviously more words I want to utilize for this, but what a guy. Nemo, are you picking on people again? Seems like it. Another season of bullying, huh?
Yeah, definitely the Emperor of Pain right now. We've seen him. I mean, now we see Nemo in better form at least compared to last year. So maybe he definitely has that energy behind him to do so, and also the Evo placements apparently. But Moke don't care about those, bro. We already talked about how Moke says, "Who are you concerning? Dang near anyone that comes his way." So we'll see if Nemo eats his words. He'll say like, "Hey man, Street Fighter League Japan is where it really matters, where it really counts." And what really counts right now is the points up on the line right now as GyoGun sits in the lead. Nemo looking to steal those tickets away. I'm gonna go back to what you were saying about Chun-Li. I feel like fighting JP, she could definitely do work. Stand Fierce, fantastic. These long range buttons, things like that for a Serenity Stance cancel to lead into corner carry or knockdowns. You have that walk speed, you have drive rush, you have OD Fireball to follow behind, where he has to really consider what to do. Obviously, he has to think about maybe Pierce or like OD Fireball from his side of things. But to make a JP consider is a kind of a big win right here. And we've seen this matchup go back and forth, and maybe Chun-Li players like Valmaster hate it, but I think it's starting to even out a little bit.
Yeah, and also taking a look just for continuity's sake between the two in terms of dialogue. Nemo actually placed just outside of top 6. He got tied for 7th with Fujimura over at Evo, and Moke actually just outside of that too, tied for 9th with Oil King at Evo. That's crazy. Ooh. So I see you, Nemo, putting in the personal jabs.
Fantastic neutral jump with the jump medium. I hope we strike out and finds a way out. Perfect parry. It's always wild because you see JP go for the perfect parry and no back throw. He doesn't really need to. He's got all that range. He can work with the departure. Perfect parry on the side of Moke for that corner play.
Oh, he was ready for it too.
Right back.
Yeah, that's exactly what you needed to, right? If you're gonna apply pressure, make sure it's with a normal that's cancelable as well. So yeah, that's plus frames after that. Trying to press a button. Nemo actually no big conversion for Moke. He got the counter hit standing light punch, but man, he was ready for whatever may come through from that old man's cane. This guy Moke prepared and well informed.
Stuffs the drive rush. Moke is definitely on point with the swift rush. Excuse me. Zashu coming through. What's Moke gonna do with that bar at the bottom? Also, what's Nemo gonna do with that bar at the bottom? See level 3? There we go. I was wondering. I was gonna spin that bar. He wants to get that lead and kill the drive gauge at the top for Moke.
With a little frame kill as well, but Moke absolutely ready for the tech. That would have been a pretty tricky situation if he hadn't back thrown, but reversal parry coming in from Nemo, looking for an option to at least get a perfect parry against Moke, but There'll be a lot of damage on the table coming in if the departure hits. Okay, never mind. Not even gonna score it, but there it is. Moke actually can kill. Level 3. Actually, is it gonna kill? Are we gonna get the digital scissors for this one?
Yay! We're still alive. One hit though. Just one touch. Always a bro. Yeah, go for that level 1 to get it done. Yeah. Yeah, dang it. Just by a centimeter. By a pixel. Or maybe a few.
It was enough to get the job done, that is for sure. Nemo showing his top 8 prowess against Moke. 9th place ain't gonna cut it for you. Drive rush on in. The drive rush also, or drive impact, not counted at all. Nemo wasn't ready for it. He shook his head. He's like, what was that all about?
Second hit of departure. I'm sorry, LB Amnesia. Just a departure out though. Let's get that side switch impact. No, we react. This is how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Side switch and not get the follow up though. Moke has the positional advantage. He'll go for the impact again. Walk forward to build up some of that bar, that drive gauge. OD fireball. We get level 2. Yes, sir. In the middle of the sequence, a sauce him up.
Damn! It was just enough damage? That's crazy. Even with all the scaling involved, I didn't think, like, I understand like minimum damage scaling on some of the supers, but that last kick packs so much damage in it.
We talked about it. He is the full package when it comes to Chun-Li. Optimal offense, defense, and that stand pierce we've seen continuously too as well. Certainly stands get the corner carry positions or just moments in general. Forward heavy kick.
What a
pickup off of it. Jesus Lord.
That wasn't
even a tech, was it?
No.
I think he backdashed.
That is crazy. I think Nemo might have jumped. I think he tried to like back jump perhaps, but that was crazy.
Damn.
Oh boy, the punish counter against the departure. Yes, sir. Chun-Li able to traverse past whatever it is that JP's trying to throw out there. Yeah, so you treat the departure also kind of like a fireball as well. Like he sets up, there's a considerable amount of recovery on it to actually get a punish or even drive rush on in there, especially with Chun-Li too. So very, very good luck thus far.
If it doesn't hit, you're like close enough to like start the party, which is what you want to do against JP. You want to get in to get your win. That's exactly what you're looking for. Counter and conversion. Gets the stomp, pick up jump fierce. Empty low, blocks it out though, Nemo. See, find a way outside this corner. Stand fierce, level 2 possibly. Can't wait too long. You're probably looking for like OD Ghost or Sand Fierce to start the party off.
Oh. That counter conversion is everything. Yeah, Moke getting the corner carry as well. The overhead, no, not able to finish it. Had he landed the rest of that combo, would have been lights out against Nemo. Excellent blocks. The patience is there. The anti-air is also Nemo. Needs one. Oh, he could have confirmed the CA.
There it is. There's a level 2. Alone didn't get too much off of it though. Sneaking the drive impact either way. To put himself on set point, or I'm sorry, to stave off set point to stop Moke, but Moke sitting on level 3. Not too bad though.
Not bad at all. Yeah, the fireball to also halt the initial drive rush coming in, and not a single button press as soon as that forward heavy kick was coming out. Nemo also showing off that he has defense up until this point. Man, commentators cursed him. The counter hit was there. Punish counter against the throw. OD Amnesia setting up. Look at the damage on the spikes. Departure right in front of you. He gets to move on in there. Moke does not give a damn about your flashy portals. Take a look at this. Level 2. Level 1 as well. No, he sets up with a frame kill for, yes, sir. Goon Squad coming in.
Level 2 less again. Bad situation here. You're Moke. Didn't get hit with the, never mind. He might be fine. That's not you, but no follow-up. Legs. Level 1, get it done. No, he's a chip out or just that last hit that threw up Moke. Quarter pressure, too much for Nemo to deal with. Complete package, man. Chun-Li, everything. Legs, thighs, no surprise. Moke moves on. Man, Okay, it's so good.
Do you get?
His Chun-Li is
Are there,
amazing.
are there any shakes that come with those fries, man? Because I would love that entire meal. Just think about it, man. You get
Oh, God.
Legs, thighs, fries, and shakes, dude. That's actually pretty good. That's a good combo meal. Listen, it's 5 a.m. It's nearly 6 a.m. Let's not talk about food. Moke 2-0 against Nemo. Fantastic, dude. Is it too early for chicken in the morning? Actually, I gotta ask you.
I don't think
Like,
so.
It's
Chicken and waffles.
Yeah, right.
Chicken and
That's-
waffles, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels a way about chicken. That's what I'm talking about. Cool. I'm actually gonna do that. Anyways, Moke 2-0 against Nemo. That's gonna be like, so it's a little unprecedented, right? Nemo has been leading the pack, I feel like, with the JP tech since the first month and a half, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, we've talked about him and kind of given him the accolades of other JP players coming to him to like watch his streams and talk about some of the techs in certain matchups, right? Nemo has been the one to kind of figure out what needs to be done for certain matchups. And I will say this though. Nemo finds the tech, Kakuru implements the tech, I think. Obviously, I think Kakuru obviously is one of the best JPs, if not the best JP that we could ever ask for. But I will attribute to Nemo's hard work and all of his streams that he is definitely one of the most studious JP players that we could ever ask for. But man, look at the damage from just based off of the stats alone coming in from Moke, right?
Yo, look at those drive impacts. 5 out of 5. Some of them in burnout, some of them not. Some of this as rebuttals. Fantastic in terms of reactions. DPs also at the ready. Teched all the throws. 2 for 2. Only one throw teched on the side at Nemo. But going to Nemo, I think you're right in terms of how he develops the tech, but Kakadu implements the tech. And also one thing that Kakadu does that Nemo, maybe other JP players don't, that makes them not as consistent is the defense. I feel like the anti-airs are there. 2 out of 5, not so terrible. But like when it comes like perfect parries and things like that, situations where you should against like Hazanchus and things like that, which are hard to look out for, don't get it twisted. It didn't seem like that was like part of his game plan. It's like that I want to be offensive. If I push to it, defense, it's OD amnesia and maybe like a delay button, but what else?
I'm not gonna defend JPs. I'm not gonna say like, hey man, defense is hard. Not one bit. You're not gonna get that out of me. But I will agree. I think there were some moments where Moke could have been checked a little bit harder. Right, I think he could have been. I think JP could have been a little bit more obnoxious on defense about it, but that's neither here nor there. Now, this is gonna be the anchor matchup. Yo, Machovo coming in hot with his record too. Like he had a little bit of a shaky start, but he's slowly starting to come to grips with what needs to be done to get the Ws. Sasamo, I feel like he's slowly recovering from that the exhibition he had over on Daigo's stream. But I think overall, he's been practicing a lot with the Ibishigen team and starting to put in some work, really.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, he hit one of the top DJs, if not the top DJ for a little bit. Leaderboards, don't know how long that has lasted, but to do that takes a lot of work, considering how many strong DJs are out there, like the likes of Bulgaria and such, more dominant and such like that. So definitely a rising star. Recently when we saw him, he lost to Kawano, but before that, he won against Storm Kubo. That was really the breaking point for him. He said himself, like, I'm on the precipice. I have to get this W. Maybe didn't get that victory against Kawano he'd like to, but that's only going to make him stronger. On the side of Machovo, though, we talk about players lacking and slacking. It felt like Machovo really hadn't gotten the rhythm with this with the Ken. He's been on win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. One against Kawano, or one against Kazunoko, lost against Tachikawa, won against Akira, and then lost against Fudo. But then last time we saw him, won against Bonchan pretty dominantly. And I feel like that was the moment we really saw that optimization that he is known for. Like we know him for being Mr. Optimal. It's in the name. That's on the tag. It definitely should be like that with that Ken. And we saw that happen last time when he fought Bonchan. Now Macho says, I am nervous for mostly. I am nervous the most from the past games. The order was a surprise, and the team is doing too well. He is like, things are going way too well. Everything's going according to plan. A little bit too much. He's waiting for a mistake, but like Samachobo, again, being optimal, I feel like that won't be too much of a problem for him to route things back if they go bad.
Yeah, I think Machovo doing a really, really fantastic job of at least turning up the heat, no pun intended, with this character. Yeah, no, I was looking at his overall record. I still think, like, the match that you mentioned, he actually played off against Oniki not Akira. And that was
was
actually the
Oniki, my
matchup
bad.
he almost lost. Remember that? He played against the Kimberly. He actually almost got shook, and Oniki dropped the combo. So I will say this, like, although right now Machibo is 3 out of 5, he was looking a little bit shaky in the midway point, but he's slowly starting to come to grips with what needs to be done as Ken. And I think that's really important, right? Starting to really clean it up. And the same can be said with like folks like Fudo, right? We talked about how much he's kind of lacked in the first half of this entire phase 1 and started to really come in clutch by figuring out what needs to be done in the training mode. So I think Machibo is definitely of that caliber and the same type of style. Sasamo, I have yet to see him really shine. I know he's got the potential to. I've seen him I follow him on Twitter. I've seen the amount of work he's been putting in, and he's trying to channel that confidence, right? He talks that game as well, where he says, "I am DJ. I get the damage from the attacks given from DJ," and he's also got like a apparently he's got like a disco ball in his room. I don't know. It says like there was a mirror ball spinning, so he's got like this. There was like a little bit of like a club kind of like ambiance to him as he had his sunglasses up. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was definitely a really, really glossy kind of room. So all jokes aside, I want to see Sasamo succeed. I genuinely do. I think he puts in a lot of work with his character. I think he's got the potential to do so, especially with his highlights. Sure, it's curated to his liking, but overall, I think he's got what it takes to actually get these W's. So we'll find out. Here we go. Anchor match. Machibo versus Sasamo. GyoGun versus Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. Game 1.
Let's go. Counter jab. Is it with the DP? Drive rush. I like that. Back away from that throw play. Don't let that throw play get started and stuffed. A lot of back dashes from the side of Sasamo. That might be a read that Machibo does a little bit later on. We saw that with Yamaguchi. That was problematic. Now getting that crouching unit kick in the Jinrai right after. Oh. Neutral jump. We've seen that tactic more often than not through Street Fighter League to call out these Sobots.
Oh. Get the just cool low punish counter. No too far. Even if it says punish counter, you still have to be within range. That crouching medium punch is not far enough.
A lot of range-specific things over the side of DJ that people just don't notice. It's kind of difficult to play at high level. But when you land, it hurts. When he fireball gets clipped, stopped. More bar to play with, though. Not a lot of health to give.
There was an attempt from Sasamo, right? Trying to counter the fireball. Yes, sir. Oh, is that gonna reach? Oh, we got it. A lot of damage incoming. Nice work. Way to hang in there, Sasamo. Getting the first round. Machibo, he took a sip, gave him the nod of approval. Did you see that? He's like, all right, that was good. Yeah. There it is. Yeah, close enough. Right. With the punish counter.
Stay a little more compact to Sasamo, to be honest. Finds a perfect anti right there with the jackknife, DP, just the raw one right there. Still works out against the neutral jump. Dragon Lash side switch. Yeah, now it's time to activate. Machibo said, wait, bro, it's time for me to hit my final boss form. Driver's perfect parry. Oh, the back though. Yo, Sasamo's so ready.
Oh, punish counter again. You're dead. You're actually dead. You get to spend a little bit more on it. Machine gun upper. You can't drop this. No chance. Level 3, Sasamo, feeling the rhythm, feeling the rhyme. You already know it's level 3 time. Nice work. Game 1, Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto for the anchor. Let's go.
Really rely upon that that light kick that we see continuously from the Just Cool. I've not seen it stop staying fierce of all things. Crouching unit kick, yeah, but to clip these other buttons has been a big staple of his game plan right now. If you're Machibo, you have to find a way to stop that, hit the recovery, maybe back off, stagger step a little bit, enhance Tatsu for the corner carry, and a lot of Oki. Can't leave her feet with the cross-cut DP here. There it is again, continuously. My man's whole game plan is 95% that.
Ugh, sit him down. Look at that, he's waiting. Man, the Sobot kick as a counter poke, but the punish counter again. Machibo has been getting clipped by the Just Cool sway every single time. The Just Cool low ender every single time. Wow.
Gotta switch up your buttons.
I love the sound of this voice actor. I'm telling you, man. Wow.
Wow.
That's too powerful.
Oh, man. Oh, I think he tried to go for something right there. You see the counter hit? Maybe like stand fierce, like try to drive us forward or back heavy kick possibly, but got stopped. Not sure, but I'm sure right now. The Sasamo still sits in a good position. Now listen, he's got that level 3. Oh, we about to see the massage parlor. Taking Machimo to the massage parlor, yeah. The back, old man, now from the front. It's over.
Ugh. Damn! 2 games straight, Sasamo with the DJ power-up. I love it. I'm loving this version of Sasamo.
Yes.
Oh, he's feeling it. He's feeling it, Sankola. He's definitely in his zone.
So I am DJ, bro. And again, cracking the ankles and now putting the Sobata to make it a little bit more ambiguous. And where he stands is making it really difficult for Machimo to try to land anything like stand, fierce, or crouching medium kick at all. Okay, here we go. Enhanced, Tatsu for the corner carry. Perfect parry. He knew he was going to go for a button. Denies immediately. Staying vegan out here. Oh, yeah, cut the recovery.
Oh, no! Level 1, no, it's too far. That's not the corner. Ooh, that was so smart. Yo, talk to me about that trade, though. Standing medium kick. Even if there was a fireball coming, just enough life. Talk to me, Sasamo.
Oh, man, it's speaking with that rhythm right there. Hits the drive impact. And Machimo on the back foot. This is a world-class champion right here in Sasamo. The new young gun, the new blood right here. Coming through, trying to get that overhead. Area right there, challenging him. Try reverse, that's gonna be a punish. No, he chose the wrong button. Crouching medium kick, it should have been it. Okay, now we find the Dragon Lash side switch. Now the corner carry. Can you make it happen though? It's a punish, yeah.
Ooh, what a punish. Yes, sir, -6.
Enhanced
Sasamo feeling it a little bit too much. Don't get gripped. He knew it. Oh, low forward could have been it. Machimo still gets the punish counter on the whip. Sasamo, don't let it fall out of your hands like this, brother.
It's all great until that game point starts coming up. That set point, I should say. No drive rush, stand fierce and play right there. Not gonna fall. Perfect parry gets Dragon Lash. A lot of startups, you'll see people just back up and just look for that option. Can't do it raw, you gotta hide it in there. Oh, okay, there we go. The 3-piece. Simple stuff here from the side of Machimo. Nice whip punish against the stand heavy kick.
What a
Okay,
time to
Sasamo back in
counter with
business.
a crouching medium. That's actually wild. After the 2 lights. Oh, again, the punish counter, man. -6 on the Sobot kick, not spaced enough. But to be fair, Shippu Jinrai has a very, very large range forward.
Merciful crouching, you can kick 2 as well against DJ, so. Still, Sasamo lands a crouching medium punch and lands himself a victory for his team. Again, we talked about it. My man had lost against that prodigy. And he was like, I've been feeling unusual since that has happened. He has been studious, and now staying sturdy. Oh, he's got the glasses too. Sasamo. He said, I am DJ, bro. I am the man with the rhythm.
Machimo, this is unprecedented, right? Him falling 0-3. I didn't expect it to be that much of a beatdown. I don't think he's ever had like that big of a beatdown in a long time. But like coming in from Sasamo, man. Sasamo, we talked about his record earlier. I'm gonna pull up the record just one more time, just to kind of reiterate. Yeah, so he was 1-4, and he was feeling kind of stressed. Extra stress here, but it's something different, right? When you have like less tension when it comes to playing these games, you start to feel a little bit loose and not have to worry about making it into the second phase. You play different, right? I think this is an important lesson for Sasamo to really look back on, a really important game to look back on, because it's like this was the most dominant he's been ever against one of the more sturdy cats of the cast. So him solidifying this W, at least with 190 points for Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto, is a very, very important look now. So, especially with another set of games they have to play, but also the sudden death coming in for this match. They could score an extra 5 points, right?
That is true. So it could be even more in store here for the side of Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. We've seen the rise of like, Shuto, Noguchi, and they've been really putting in a lot of work for the team. Nemo too as well, but Sasamo coming through. Great amount of anti-airs from the side of Sasamo. It's 5 out of 8, but that leads into quite a bit for a character that, has good anti-airs, but you have to space and place them very well. Bust outs, 1 out of 2, still pretty dang good. Macho took 3 throws, but you know, we see one tech from the side of him too as well. Drive impacts landed though from the side of Sasa. We saw him perfectly space one of those drive impacts to get that splat and make it a rat. And now it's 2 to 2, 20 to 20 right now. 5 points remain. Sudden death. You know what we send in? Of course, we send in the hottest person. For me, it's Sasamo. You send in Sasamo. He's got a game plan that's locked in. It feels like he is hyper focused. You send him in. But who do you send in from GyoGun though?
You have to send Machibo back in, right, to get the run back. He has to redeem himself. He didn't get a single game. You know, Mago, I think he's fine. Moke, he got his W. Mizuha, he's big chillin'. He's been very much so one of the big point earners for the team. I think you send in Machibo again. Genuinely. I think that just makes sense. Mizuha doesn't need to play anymore. He's already proved himself. He's at 4 out of 4. He's 100% in Ws. He's 100% in overall in the league. He doesn't need to play anymore.
Yeah, definitely big chilling over there. But I like to see Machibo come through and you know, discuss with his team and say, like, what do I do against Just Cool Light Kick? Because that was pretty much 90%, I feel like, of Sasamo's game plan and how he layered things on. Even if it's not hitting, he would like back up for Sabat and things like that. Let's see what's going to be. Is it going to be the run back? It will be, yes. Yes. I like that energy, yeah.
We knew it.
Let's see that run back. See if Machibo learn something from this.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Sasabo running off of the momentum that he just got, taking that 3-0. Like I wouldn't have been like super surprised if they threw in like Higuchi or like Nemo for like retribution for their games. But yeah, it just makes sense. If they wanted like the winning formula, I think sending in Sasamo was the play. Absolutely the play.
I agree. I think with Machibo, you know, you have a team. Maybe if you were, you know, by yourself, maybe this would be a little bit more, you know, problematic. But now you have a team that can really look at things from the outside with, you know, different eyes and say, you did this and this wrong. In this next match, when you fight him again, do this and this. You know, the fact that you have this team element will definitely help shore up your mistakes and things that it would take you a little bit longer to understand. We'll see if that even happens. Machibo says, I was way too bad in that game, so I'll win this time. I like that. Trying to get that revenge and trying to get the most amount of points for his team. That 5 points for this sudden death. Let's see what Sasamo says, though. I'm so curious about what Sasamo about to say. He said it was a good game, but I think it went too well. So at least he understands, like, things were going a little bit too confident for me.
But he has to keep that confidence, right? Like he has to understand that he made that happen. It wasn't like the outside forces that may be, but it's not even like from the side of Machibo. I think he has to understand that Sasamo was the one that made Sasamo win, and I think that's a really important lesson. But we'll see. Maybe he'll use this sudden death match as a way to test his progress, right? He's been practicing a lot, right? He's been part of the Ibushian camp for a while now, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a really talented roster. Also, you have Yanai as part of that group, and he's been playing Modern Marisa. You have obviously Kakeru as a part of that camp, who's one of the strongest JPs that we could ask for. Overnight millionaire, by the way, when it comes to the USD to yen conversion. So that's insane. Immediately got a perm, by the way, as soon as he got back home. What he did was he went for sushi as soon as he got home. And then the next couple of days, he had his appointment for his perm, and he came back with a different haircut. I'm like, all right, I see you. His English is phenomenal, by the way. I asked him, I was like, hey, what kind of sushi did you guys like? I got prawns. I was like, oh. I mean, shrimp ebi would have been just fine. He's like, no, prawns. I was like, all right. You got prawns. I was like, all right, man.
Exercise that English. Speaking of also Sasamo, he has a really good kid on his team. It's Kabe, the dude that got second at the most recent World Warrior event. So, like, he definitely has that kid practice that helps out. And right now, it's definitely helping out as we see Sasamo looking to get that return over seat once again. It's like some Machibo.
Man, he's getting a lot of mileage out of these Sobots now, right? Machibo has not been able to kind of decipher what the offensive looks are going to be from Sasamo. But you know what? If you land this throw, that's totally fine. Oh my God, that was the meatiest fierce ever. Normalize it.
Oh! Ooh. It's impossible meat, and that was unfortunate. I can't believe it's not meat right there. Sasamo taking advantage of that unfortunate drop.
If it ain't meat, it's not for the street. Machimo just dropping that combo is really unfortunate, man. That's gotta be so detrimental to the soul punish counter. Soul bot. No.
That's it. Heavy kick. Stops and up this drive rush with the crouching medium punch. Saw that before.
What a pickup.
I'm gonna go for the gym right there. We have the corner position. There's the back throw. Level 3 immediately. What? Sasamo. This could do a lot of damage. It won't kill, but the next hit will.
Oh, he's so smart. He's so smart. This guy Sasamo is playing on a different level. What is happening over at the Ibushigan camp? I need to know. I need to know. How is he playing so different? Damn. 4 games straight against one of the legends in the roster. What a beast.
Nah, Sasamo said, I am legend, bro. I am legend now. So I am DJ. That fantastic play, Sasamo. Defeating Machimo again, bro. Man, oh man. Yeah, there's an unfortunate drop from Machimo, but I'm gonna be 100% with you. I don't think it would have mattered. I think maybe he would have got that round, possibly, but like, I think Sasamo would have cleaned him up in the last one. Like, it would have just been the same exact result. He is playing too clean. His strategy way too good. It's got to be Kabe on his team also helping out in that matchup just in general. And like the way that he is playing DJ with that just cool light kick and how he layers on his offense around it, more so than maybe any other DJ player, has been fantastic. And this leads into victory for Sasamo, bro. You gotta look back at this and be like, I'm supposed to be here. Like, don't trade me out. I'm supposed to be here.
No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. And that's a valid point too. I forget that during the transition between phase 1 into phase 2, after we establish our top 6 teams, there is a roster change that is allowed, but not like a severe one. I think they're allowed to swap out 1 player. So that's going to be very interesting going into the second phase. Something to look forward to, because there's a handful of players here that we're not seeing. There's a handful of really, really talented players that we do not see in some of these teams, and I gotta be honest, man. Daigo being one of them, Kakeru being another one. You know, food for thought. Food for thought. But anyways,
it is. So the interviews are saying here. Also, I'd like to add Kabe. That dude's kid is insane. Like, I feel like he is like the next person to add. But anyway, we'll see if that happens. People start picking up these players and things like that if they rock with the same teams. Sasamo says it was a good game. Oh, wait, that's previously. I mean, he can say it was a good game previously. But Shuto, who's sitting on the stands, says it's our jinx from last year. But when someone winning loses, someone losing wins. So it's the reverse. The jinx works out in the end. And Shuto is still on the stands. I'm glad that they put up Sasamo instead of Shuto. Shuto's usually been like the closer, the clincher for the anchor matches, and usually does pretty well. But I'm glad they give some other people time to shine and prove that they're on that same level to close things out for their team.
What a poet. When someone winning loses, someone losing wins. That's facts, Shuto. That's big facts. Higuchi, with his statement, we are already proceeding to the second stage. He does have a follow-up after that. I'm sure he's going to be as confident as ever with the way that he's been playing Guile. Sure, he fell a little bit short to Mago. I don't think he's going to be feeling too bad about it, knowing full well that they've already made it. But yeah, Higuchi had mentioned already proceeding to the second stage. The second statement was, I was hoping I could face Mizuha and be the only one with all wins. Oh, that's right, actually. Taking a look at Higuchi's record. Dude, yo, Higuchi actually got his record broken today, huh?
Dang, that is true. Yeah, he used to be second. Only second to Fujimura, who had 6 out of 7, but he was the only one that had 5 out of 5 so far.
Yeah, I mean, tied. I think Mizuha also was undefeated as well. Yeah, he was 4 for 4. But yeah, in terms of like the volume of games, yeah, Higuchi has like above average amount of games. Or no, I think he's just about average, I should say. Average amount of games and also like near undefeated. But now that he has 6 under his belt, since he's 5 for 6, he's technically in the above average category, but also no longer undefeated. So what a set of stats to leave behind in phase 1. That's actually very, Very intimidating. This guy's got the disco ball up again? Jesus.
You can see him flashing and messing up his green screen. That is crazy. But, you know, I like that he's getting the character, really becoming the character, and has found his character. I mean, for a lot of players, you know, we see around the world, have not found something that suits them. And, you know, Sasuke, a Balrog player previously, has found his way with this character, where people are maybe making missteps and things like that, or waiting for, like, DLC, or waiting for something that changes things where it's suiting their style more. It's great to see someone, like, become their character and really say, this is who I play. I wish I could have that energy. Sasuke, please give me some of that.
You play Ken. What?
Yeah.
You're in a good,
but, like,
you're in good
it's
shape.
My character. It's
what
like,
do you mean?
Not by the character, but just like, you know. You're right. Okay, Kid is good. Okay, Kid is fantastic. I'm gonna stick with Kid.
Play
anyway,
JP next.
Go ahead.
Play JP. There you go.
Yeah, baby.
You'll be all right.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of JP, though, here's Nemo.
He's the closest to looking like Urian, right? So.
Yeah, and Bison. Oh, don't get me started. Don't put me through another crisis.
There you go.
Fishes, don't do it to me. All right. Well, speaking of JP, Nemo says, I wanted to win against Moke, but not this time, apparently. Definitely has to work up on his defense. Sasuke said, I practiced a lot against Ken and was glad to show the results. I was muting the team during the game, but it was good listening to the chats of the team.
Nemo, you different, bro. Nemo. Oh no, that was Sasuke, right? Oh, sorry, Sasuke, you different. Sasuke, you different, brother. This guy, listen, man. I totally get it. Sometimes you gotta rock to the beat of your own drum, and that's exactly what Sasuke did. If you gotta mute, you gotta mute. I'd imagine if you have Nemo as your like guy in your ear, I'd imagine it's also gonna be like really difficult. Sometimes he could just be like, "Come on, bro." He could be like a little detrimental to the team. He's not gonna be the one to cheer you on, but that's just how it goes, man. All jokes aside, fantastic play from everybody. Mizuha, he's going to get his words in first on behalf of GyoGun. GyoGun's done for the season, or at least for the first half of the season, I should say. They make it into phase 2. They're just big chilling. I imagine they're going to be restreaming alongside everybody else as they get ready for the significant break to come. I feel like for these guys, we won't see them until mid-October, October 10th. If I'm not mistaken, but at least that's when the season starts.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that we have this break for these players, you know, as we reach into the second part of the season. But I kind of like waking up and seeing all this fantastic Street Fighter 6 action. But hey, let the break happen. Let them reconvene, figure out what they want to do with their teams and things like that. Mizuha says, I was doing really bad last season's league games, and so like this season, he's definitely doing a lot better, which is great because it feels like, you know, getting a hold of this game with the quickness has been hard for a lot of players. Like even like Tokito and, you know, even Daigo has said he struggled, even though it doesn't feel like he struggles as much as he says. But like for a lot of players, they're not where they want to be. And Mizuha a lot better off. He says, I wasn't really even confident this season either, but I was able to win. Maybe I'm lucky. I don't think it's luck, Mizuha. I think you're just really good at the game. I think your play style is really good. Your aggression is really good. I think it's not just luck.
Yeah, he's starting to really piece it together. I think with the way that he was performing, he was slowly... We talked about this before. I think his momentum going into the later end of the final season of Street Fighter V, I think he started to piece together what needs to be done for putting in the effort in training mode, figuring out what needs to be done with certain characters, and figuring out matchups. Yeah, I think he's slowly becoming the complete package, right? The same with that kind of group with Higuchi, with Moke. He's done a fantastic job, and you know, having Moke as a teammate as well really, really helps.
100%. That dude has. I've definitely been thinking in terms of like how strong he is as being like an overall, you know, Chun-Li player. I feel like even if you don't play that same character, like how he studied his character and brought the best of all aspects of her can only be applied to other characters in terms of like, oh, you're looking at this element for your character to make her better, and this element to make them become like the fullest and best that they can be with their characters. I feel like Mizuha is also kind of well-rounded in his regard too as well with Chun-Li, or I'm sorry, with Cammy. So maybe that also bleeds in. Mago says, I just want to use Juri really much, but Cammy was a character for me this first stage, but looking back, it could have gone either way this season. Really close teams. I'm glad that he went back to Cammy, especially when the GA was on. And even previously, because I think Cammy's this character, and I wouldn't be surprised, as we discussed, if he goes to Ken, because that character definitely fits him. I don't know if Jury's really his character. Sometimes you just enjoy a character that's not for you. Maybe you have one for pleasure, one for business, and when it comes to League, just go for the business one. And it's got to be Cammy.
Yeah, I'm slowly starting to figure. I think that's fair. I think it's a fair assessment at that. He's kind of been that way also back and forth between like Karen and Cammy in Street Fighter 5. It's good and very important that he makes these decisions early on. He's gonna have like a month off to kind of think about it and come back stronger with his team. But his overall record not too bad. I think the one person here that doesn't really need to like be too down on himself though is Machimo, right? I think he's stuck with a good character. I think he has the fundamentals to take anybody down in his matches. And I think overall he's the one that nobody ever wants to sleep on. Machimo is like he's a phenomenal player, right? So we are going to get his closing statements as well. Didn't get the record that he wanted, obviously, but it's only the first half, right?
Yeah, it's only that first half of the station. We talked about how some of these players are taking a little bit longer to acclimate and adjust themselves to Street Fighter 6. So, you know, not everyone's going to like hit it like that, but when they do, they're going to hit it that in stride. And Machimo, I feel like he's there with those fundamentals. He's got the optimality, but it's just like maybe just character matchups right now that he has to lab out and really understand, which it feels like that for everybody. It just depends on who's in your team and who you have for practice. For Machimo, maybe something similar. Machimo says we were 7th last time, and it took us time to get used to the characters. Or I'm sorry, we're 7th previously, and took time to get used to the characters. So, and again, you know, they made that climb. Like GyoGun making this climb to this top spot has been nothing short of amazing. We haven't seen them even grace 3rd and maybe forever. Maybe like so close that they're like maybe 4th sometimes every so often, but not even reach the playoffs. So like this is great for GyoGun to get this high up and have a really good shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've seen like GyoGun get within like top 4, at least in the playoffs, one time over, I think in the last 2-3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, when their team names were like colors or like shades of colors, I'm pretty sure Mago had been a part of like the top 3, if not taking it all the way. I'd have to double check. But Mago has been a part of like a winning team or at least like a top 3 team for a very, very long time. So he understands what it takes to like propel and excel, right? But we'll see how it plays off going into the second phase, right? Couple of ending statements. Mago, second stage is really going to be tough for any team. Definitely, no doubt. They're going to do their best, the best that they could for the fans. But I'd imagine for themselves as well, right? Because these guys are built different when it comes to fighting games, built different in the realm of Street Fighter, and also built different is the fact that we have a couple of more games just next week, and that's going to be happening sooner than we know it. And, one of the big stipulations is, will we see our defending champs from Street Fighter League fall short and not make it into stage 2, or will one of the other 2 teams waiting on the sidelines, excuse me, trying to make their own highlights? I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna do the whole thing. I was gonna do it. I would have done it for the fight of my life. I'm totally kidding. But yeah, it's been an excellent day today, for sure.
It's been a surprising day. 40 bomb after 40 bomb, and then we see, you know, even just a close match at the raid, and Sasu himself being very surprising too as well. We mentioned this before. It is so hard to call what's going to happen at League. You have, you know, high pedigree when it comes to these players. You have a brand new arena, and all of it just gets shaken up, right? You know, we have only a few months to prepare, get ready for Street Fighter 6, and week after week they are playing, they're grinding it out and showing us something different. And it's so hard. I feel like, again, people's fantasy brackets are all blown up right now. The fact that we have even good 8 squad possibly not qualifying, Hiroshima Team Itsuka maybe surpassing them depending on what goes on, what happens in this next final, and I do mean final 3 matches that are coming up next week, Monday night or Tuesday morning, depending on where you're at. This could be like a huge upset. Imagine the league winners of last time not making it in. But back to this match, though. Looks like the Antares did not work out all the time for Sasamo. However, the Impacts did, as we saw that drive rush into Impact, the classic day one, getting it done here from Sasamo. You know, he took all the throws right there, which is fantastic and fine. Bust out worked out from Macho, but really saved the day, though, was that just cool light kick that we see continuously cracking the ankles. I wish there was a stat for that, because it definitely did a lot of work. And not only this match, but the previous match previously. And it works out for Saishunkan Kumamoto. The sun shines on them as they got their win 25-20 against GyoGun. And that means they lead the pack for now.
Not bad. Not bad at all. And they still have one more game to play. Can you believe that? They still have more points to accumulate even afterwards, because they were at a I think they had 2 games left according to the website for all the stats and whatnot. But yeah, that's Saishunkan Kumamoto taking a pretty significant leap forward. Now, GyoGun, they'll still be in the lead. They'll still be in the lead, right? Sitting at a 205 points above everybody else. Saishunkan Kumamoto just down about 15 points. So whatever they do next week can really help them propel into better seeding. As you can see here, yep. GyoGun 205, Saishunkan Kumamoto trailing behind at 195. Cyclops Athlete Gaming Osaka tied with FAV Gaming at 170 apiece. Shinobism Gaming scoring no points today, but got 150 overall. Nagoya Oja Body Star taking over Good 8 Squad at 6th place with a 5-point lead. It's up to Good 8 Squad to see if they can get back up to good graces. But also, DetonatioN FocusMe taking the spot over Hiroshima team Ikuza, or at least temporarily, as they still have one more game to play. This is what's going to happen. DetonatioN FocusMe versus Cyclops Athlete Gaming Osaka. It's going to be the first match coming up next Tuesday. Saishunkan Kumamoto facing off against FAV Gaming. Then Shinobism Gaming versus Good 8 Squad. Uh-oh. That is a faded match. We've seen that match last year. It actually went in favor of Shinobism Gaming. This might be detrimental to the team. Who knows?
And what a way to end things out as our final match, where it's Good 8 Squad having to get as many points as possible to take that lead. If they leave with 0, and it's possible, because Shinobism Gaming has a lot of killers on their deck, and after the loss that they face today, will definitely shore themselves up for that victory next time they come on the screen, on the sticks. It could happen. You still have Fujimura waiting in the wings. You still have Momochi getting that loop ready. Maybe a new character from Johnny. Who even knows? It could happen that Good 8 Squad gets absolutely eliminated and decimated and doesn't even make it into the second half as we work towards our way, the finale play at Capcom Pro Tour at the finals. 1 million for that single player sort of thing, but the team battle will also be happening out there. The Street Fighter League World Championships will be out there as well. So keep it locked and loaded when that happens. That's going to be exciting no matter what happens in terms of single play or team play.
Yeah, this number alone gets me very excited. Overall prize pool of 2 million. That's gotta be so crazy to even think about as a fighting game fan and player. And we're still looking for a couple more champions to move on in to the Capcom Cup and qualify via online premieres, offline premieres, the 3 of them that are happening, which is going to be very, very soon. We're going to show that off. The World Warrior events that have been happening week after week after week, and of course the last chance qualifier to sneak on in there. But again, if you're in these regions, in October 20th through the 22nd, Asia, Gamescom Asia, we have Singapore happening very, very soon. If you haven't registered already, be sure to do so, as the cap is 1,024. Then, followed after that, the second offline premiere, November 3rd through the 5th, over at Paris Games Week in France. Again, the same registration cap. Be sure to go over to start.gg to participate and sign up. Man, Singapore pretty much right around the corner. You do not want to miss this specific premiere, because it's going to be non-stop full of killers from the entire Southeast Asia region.
Not only that, from the regions all around the world, I've seen a lot of people sign up to try to get that seat. They'd rather not go through the World Warrior tournaments because it's definitely difficult. We've seen the rise of many players and things like that blowing up the rankings, even out in Japan. Oniki we've seen do work. recently, Yamaguchi, and you guys and gals out there have a chance to get some points right now. We've only had 2, I feel like, for most Warrior tournaments. Register right now so you can get as many points as possible so you can solidify yourself for the regional finals. Japan is coming up with another one. I feel like we just came off the back of the first or second one too as well. But another one's coming up the 9th and 16th of this month. So make sure you all tune in and be prepared to watch fantastic action. I don't even know who's going to be taking it because I feel like every single top 8 has a mix of new killers every single time we see them. So tune in, lock in, and enjoy that great Street Fighter action out here in Japan. But hey, out here in Street Fighter League Japan has been fantastic. We have one more day of Street Fighter League play for Season 1. We'll see who gets it done, and we'll see who moves on. Will Good 8 Squad make it, or will they meet defeat? Will they be excommunicated from Street Fighter League? It's going to be fireworks all the way through. It's going to be fire all the way through as we reach the finale closer and closer. But people, it's been a blast. My name is Cole. I've been joined with Vicious. Anything you want to say to people before we bounce out of here, brother?
Keep on watching and stay tuned to everything happening over at Capcom_esports as well as at Capcom Fighters. We'll see you for the next one. Enjoy your weekend. Be good. Be safe. Take care.
この後にも流れますので、こちらも合わせてぜひチェックしてみてください。
かなりね、分かりやすい動画になってますんで、
エントリーはね、
ちょっとやり方分かんないよって方はぜひそれチェックしていただいて、ワールドウォリアーの方ですね、もう第3回迫ってきてますんで、ぜひエントリーしていただければと思います。
大会に出るっていう経験がね、さらにやっぱり日頃のモチベーションとか、
そうですね、ちょっと腕試し感覚でもいいですし、まあ記念参加でも本当にいいので、何でもいいんで、ぜひちょっと遊んでみてください。大会で
1回出るとね、大会見るのがめちゃめちゃ面白くなるっていうのはね、間違いないので。
そうですね、まあ、1回目がやっぱりなかなかこう精神的ハードルっていうところもあると思うんで、ぜひそこを頑張って動画とともにですねクリアしていただいて出ていただければと思います。はい、よろしくお願いいたします。
それではストリートファイターリーグプロ JP2023、本日はファーストステージ第11節の3試合をお届けいたしました。実況は私ある、そして解説はハメコさんでお送りいたしました。ハメコさんありがとうございました。
では次節ね、最終節で
お会いいたしましょう。失礼します。
さよなら。